relationships and never my status as Joe Biden's brother.
And that was Fox's Brooke Singman. Hunter Biden is expected to appear before the House Oversight and House Judiciary Committees on February 28th. And that will continue the impeachment inquiry into President Biden. America is listening to Fox News.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-919-3200. That's 800-919-3200. 800-919-3200.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Cooler weather now sinking in as a cool front comes by and swings our winds to the northwest. Still a chance of a scattered shower or a rumble of thunder. 62 for the high. Tonight, clearing skies. Let's take it down to about 38. Friday, sunny. Cool day, 55. Saturday, sunny and 52. Don't forget the full moon coming up Saturday night. Sunday, sunny and springtime again, 68. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hi, this is Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw. As a family business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. What if it were possible to protect you from market downturns without having to make an emotional decision to buy or sell? What if you could take advantage of a strategy that would automatically take you out of harm's way during the bad years and position you for the growth opportunity during the good years?
The secret is in linking safely to the market without putting your principal at risk. By linking to the market instead of owning the market, you can participate safely on autopilot and lock in your gains without creating a taxable event. Go online at retirementkey.com for a no-obligation retirement review. We'll teach you the strategy that has helped our clients retire with confidence for the past 38 years. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. So go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Just imagine being walked all over for 36 years. Who would do that? The great customers of Reinhold Flooring, that's who. For over 3.5 decades, Reinhold Flooring has been the mecca for carpet, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and area rugs. Reinhold Flooring is customer-driven with a focus on top-quality products and installations from the best team in the business. So come on in and walk all over your next flooring at Reinhold Flooring. Visit them at 5429 Telegraph Road in St. Louis or online at reinholdflooring.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Download the free Upside app and earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Download the free Upside app now and use promo code GIFT for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's promo code GIFT.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, from the radio.
ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Dan and Bill, good morning. We're hearing from a few different cell phone providers this morning. Both Verizon and T-Mobile say their networks are operating normal, adding any indications of service interruptions are likely customers having trouble connecting to another network. And it sounds like that other network could be AT&T. The company just released this statement saying, quote, "Some of our customers are experiencing wireless service interruptions this morning. We are working urgently to restore service to them. We encourage the use of Wi-Fi calling until service is restored." Now, this is a map from downdetector.com. They track outages. You can see some of the areas experiencing the most problems, cities like Atlanta, Dallas, Houston. According to downdetector.com, at around 4 a.m. Eastern Time, 32,000 AT&T outages were reported. That number then surged to 71,000 reported outages just before 8 a.m.
So have you had any of this experience today yourself? That is the question that we have for you on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Was your cell service disturbed today, yes or no? Interesting information coming out about what is causing this. I heard somebody out in our kitchenette area say something about a solar flare. I haven't seen that report. Have you?
That was a weather reporter on an Oklahoma local station that said that.
Sounds totally legit. And I have heard people say, like Fox News, there's no story out from Fox News that says, hey, this is a cyber attack and this is why we know. But there is a headline that says pharmacies across the country report outages in wake of cyber attack. And I'm like, where's the story before the one that references the cyber attack that is calling this a cyber attack? We don't have the details yet, and I don't want to report on speculation, but this is quite a big deal. And I think a lot of people are asking themselves at this point in time, what is it that is taking place, and how am I going to be prepared if something like this were to happen bigger? Fox News has a story that they published 30 minutes ago. Rubio warns Chinese cyber attack will be 100 times worse. On Twitter, he wrote, "I don't know the cause of the AT&T outage, but I do know it will be 100 times worse when China launches a cyber attack on America on the eve of a Taiwan invasion. And it won't be just cell service they hit. It will be your power, your water, and your bank." Happy day. What a Thursday. So I'm just going over the news stories here, and I'm trying to think of, trying to put the pieces together here for you so that I can make sure I bring you up to date. And it looks like those pieces aren't all coming together yet in an understandable way. I did just say to Brad, we just heard last week, hey, we need to make the public aware of a threat. And then Speaker Mike Johnson did that little presser in the hall and was like, everything is under control. And we were like, okay. And then we just moved on.
It was like nothing to see here.
I want to move back to that. Is this related? Yes or no? I don't know the answer to that. I have questions. I would like some answers. This is the leading story on Fox right now. Russian President Vladimir Putin flew on a nuclear-capable strategic bomber on Thursday in a likely move to flaunt Russia's nuclear capabilities in defiance of the West. Moscow said Putin took a brief flight on a modernized Tu-160M bomber codenamed Blackjacks by NATO. State media showed Putin, 71, taking off in the giant plane from a runway belonging to the factory in Kazan, which makes the supersonic aircraft. The plane landed less than an hour later. Russian news agency TASS reported Moscow did not provide specifics on its flight path, which is considered a military secret, according to Kremlin spokesman Peskov. So that's there. How does this make you feel on a day? Maybe you had service disrupted. I did not. I happen to have T-Mobile. T-Mobile doesn't seem to be as affected as specifically AT&T.
From what I understand, everyone's getting very familiar with the idea of Wi-Fi calling right now, but Wi-Fi is not always reliable. Brad, who's your carrier? What was your experience
I have
today?
Verizon. I didn't know anything about it until I got here, and Mark was freaking out in the morning.
Mark covered it all morning, yeah.
And so he came in. He's like, "Is your cell phone working?" I was like, "Yeah, full bars. Why? What's going on?" I got up a little early and came in to work a little earlier today, and I didn't have any issue with it. I listened to a podcast my whole way in, so it wasn't affecting my internet carrier. It wasn't affecting anything on my end with Verizon.
This very likely could be a developing story throughout the course of the show, and any news that is breaking on this particular issue, any explanations, like, Brad, do you know a lot about solar flares?
I know that they happen from the sun, and if they're big enough, they can affect radio frequencies, and that's about the extent of my knowledge of them.
I know that in the world of being prepared, some people call it prepping, that a lot of people think of the most nefarious bad actor scenario that could develop that would cause you to need to have your own supply of guns and ammunition and food and water source and so on and so forth. But there are ways that Mother Nature itself can affect our power grid, and solar flares is one of those things. So maybe it's that. Maybe it's Mother Nature. Maybe it's not Vladimir Putin. Maybe it's not the ineptitude that is oozing out of the White House in Washington, D.C. Maybe it's all three. I don't know. But I am very interested in bringing that information to light as soon as we have the information to bring to light. Does this make you, Brad, raise an eyebrow enough to distract you?
A little bit. I mean, the way it is right now, I feel inconvenienced. Like, this is an inconvenience. But again, my mind is one of those minds that will go, okay, well, what if this isn't an inconvenience? And what if this is like you were saying, an attack? Or even if it was like a solar flare or something along those lines, how long is it going to be out, and how much service is going to be interrupted? Because it gets me thinking about all the stuff that we do, that you and I do, specifically on the show, but in a wider range of what is affected by cellular coverage, by internet availability, and all of that other stuff. And it makes me think, it's like, man, we are really, really, really reliant on this technology.
Yeah. Ender on YouTube says aliens. I had not considered that. Crap. I hope they're small.
They land. These people are giant.
Why is it that the idea of an alien being like 10 feet tall is just significantly scarier than if they're like just really little? What if they're cute? What if they are like happy gremlins?
They could be.
I
They could
welcome
be just
them.
happy travelers.
Yeah. Gremlins always remind me of Shih Tzus. And I grew up having a Shih Tzu in the house. And the Shih Tzu's name was Rocky. And then he died. And then my mom got one that looked exactly like Rocky and then named that next one Rocky. I'm like, how long can you do this?
How many Rocky movies were there?
Oh, I was going to say, I call him Rocky too. But, I mean, those dogs live a long time. I think the first one lived 18 years, 20 years. I don't know.
Ooh.
I think in my mind they're the same dog. I don't know if I've actually separated them. I don't know. I'm uncomfortable about it. I think if I had more confidence in our leadership, if it's, again, solar flare, something that is out of our hands, and we'd maybe if it affected the whole world, we'd have to lock arms with Russia and China and Iran because we'd all be like an Independence Day.
Yeah.
Today we celebrate our Independence Day. It's
what
like
if it was aliens?
we need to make the world independent of our new overlords. The sun. I don't know how you do that, but I don't look at, I mean, Joe Biden probably doesn't know how to operate his phone, let alone know if it's not functioning correctly. I don't have much confidence. Period. I guess that's the end of the sentence. I was going to say something else, but I am uncomfortable with the situation. I don't have an interruption. You didn't have interruption. Leah didn't have any interruption, but I was supposed to have, well, I did. I had a meeting at 11 o'clock today. Very excited to be welcoming Point Pest Control on as a sponsor of the show, and we're going to be talking to you about them. They're the ones who made my home spider-free. So Point Pest Control may, in fact, be some of my favorite people that exist on the planet. No spiders in my home. Haven't seen a single bug in my house since Point Pest Control came out and treated it. But I was supposed to meet with them at 11. I was texting with our great account representative, Ellen, and I was texting her. I'm like, hey, got an early meeting. Are we meeting on Zoom, or am I supposed to go meet them somewhere? Are they coming in? And she just wasn't responding. And I was starting to be like, Ellen, come on. I need to talk to you. And then I was like, ooh, she might be one of the people who is being disrupted. So I sent her an email, and she got back. She just immediately got back to me, and it's like, yeah, this is a huge problem. So if you're in the business of sales, if you're in the business of marketing or communications, today might be a difficult day to get your job done. And today might be a good day to create some workarounds or some plan Bs that might be in place for the next time this happens. God forbid that it does. Vicky says, to our YouTube live chat poll, was your cell service disturbed today, yes or no? She says, my work phone, yes. Her personal phone, no. Betsy says, no, but I'm Android and have heard it seems to be affecting iPhones. Something about SOS next to Wi-Fi. I don't know what that means. Russell says, yes, my cell phone was affected, but my wife's cell phone was not affected, and we are on the same plan. That makes no sense.
The SOS is where your signal is. It would say SOS instead of your
on an
bars.
iPhone?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't understand that because I don't have an iPhone.
It's an emergency-only call situation.
Okay. But you can't make emergency calls, right?
Well, that's what they're saying.
Because I think it was Monroe County was saying that their text messaging was working now. So if you had a 911 need, that you could send in a text message. Man, that's not good. Ender says, nah, Verizon for the win. So it sounds like Verizon is currently the champion. T-Mobile, I have T-Mobile. I haven't had any issues, but I wouldn't get too boastful right now because you never know. Bobo says, no, mine wasn't. T-Mobile as service. And Andy says, mine was down, but service resumed around 11:15. That's another thing I'd love to hear from y'all if you're still experiencing disruption as we monitor this throughout the course of the day. Hans von Spakovsky is going to be with us here in about 7 minutes, and I'm going to get an update with him on the Fani Willis scenario, or situation, I should say, in Fulton County, Georgia. We spoke yesterday with Will Scharf a lot about the Trump cases and what Donald Trump is facing, and we didn't get into the Fani Willis stuff with him, and I could have done a whole nother hour discussing those stories with Will Scharf, and we'll have him back every time we have him on. You guys are all like, come back again soon. And we are basically asking the same thing. But it looks like the timeline for the Fani Willis trial is going to happen sometime next week, I believe. Fox News reports both sides in Georgia's high-profile election interference case involving former President Trump are preparing their final arguments over whether Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis should be disqualified over her personal relationship with a special prosecutor on the case, Nathan Wade. After a drama-filled 2-day hearing on the motion to disqualify Willis, the public is now waiting for the next steps. First up is an in-camera hearing with Judge Scott McAfee and the defense's so-called, quote, star witness, Terrence Bradley. A source confirmed to Fox News this hearing has been set for Monday. So we're not going to have any resolution this week, today or tomorrow on this trial, but the judge now has to make a ruling here, and we'll see when that occurs. Bradley could barely get a word out during his testimony last Friday, as lawyers for the state, as well as Bradley's own lawyer, both called out objections to nearly every question. The argument centered on whether Bradley's testimony would violate attorney-client privilege, since he was Wade's divorce lawyer at the time. So Hans is going to tell us coming up. We spoke to him last Thursday. This testimony was last Thursday.
Yes.
We're sitting in the studio. I got Fox News on my left and my right, and I've got all of the content for the show in front of me in paper form, hanging up by tape in different places. I got a lot of information that I can take in at any given time during the course of the show. But we're watching. It is something to behold. Go back and watch when Fani Willis walks into the courtroom and look at the female lawyer, her female lawyer, sitting at the table going, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
she's like, "Your dress is on backwards. Not a good look." Nobody knew that until the end. That's just an unbelievable side note. Completely doesn't have anything to do with the trial, except for the fact that if it were a Trump surrogate, if Ivanka Trump went up there and had her dress on backwards, it would be part of the story.
Yeah. Well, what's odd about that is I saw somebody, and this was a lady online. She said she looks like she got ready in a hurry. And she mentioned a bunch of stuff that you had mentioned too. And I don't remember all the things, but there's a lot that goes into wearing a dress, apparently.
I'm sitting in here talking to Brian and Brad, and we're watching this testimony, and Fonnie Willis walks in, and I, as a female, observe how I am constantly looking at how the women on Fox News dress, and I'm taking notes. In out of respect to them. I loved Fonnie Willis's dress, even backwards. When I saw people posting it online, I was like, I think it was an Adriana Papel or something like that, and I was like, I would buy that dress. But I'd wear it forwards. But I was talking about the way she was wearing it there were things that most women in her position would do to prepare to put that dress on that I had noticed that she had not. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
That Ryan and Brad had no idea.
Yeah, this is going to break.
What?
This is going to pop a lot of ladies' heads. Like, I didn't notice her dress was even on backwards until somebody pointed it out to me. So,
timelines are always interesting to me because timelines matter, but also when do we get a conclusion to the story? Because the longer that we don't have a ruling from the judge, the longer this kind of lingers out there and people start making hay out of what exists, but what exists isn't the finality of the story, and we need the finality of the story. And I think it's incredibly important to remember that if Fonnie Willis is disqualified from this case, that doesn't in any way, shape, or form automatically mean that Donald Trump is off the hook. I think Hans last week, because what I was saying is we ended up covering that hearing, and we're asking ourselves, do we keep going with this coverage? Do we keep airing this and not air our show, but air the coverage? And I was like, I think we should. Brad afterwards was like, that was the right call to put that on the air. But we talked to Hans right before she took the stand. And so we kind of had it set up, and then she goes to take the stand, and then everything went nuts. So we're going to catch up with Hans when we come back, get the timeline, get the likelihood of the outcome in his expert opinion, and see where the Fulton County case against Donald Trump might rest after next week. So let's take a quick break. Make sure you come by and vote on your phones. You're not doing anything with your phones anyway because they don't work. Right? Well, maybe they do. And if so, then you need to go vote no in the YouTube live chat poll. Was your cell service disturbed today? Yes or no? Come by the Annie Fry Show on YouTube. Just type in Annie Fry, F-R-E-Y, live broadcast. We're broadcasting live right there. And the live chat portion is where you cast your vote, leave a comment. Make sure you subscribe while you're there and say hi. We'd love to talk to you. We'll be right back.
There's nothing left to choose.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Sweet release. There's a fire in these hills that's coming down. And I don't know much, but I found you here, and I cannot wait another year. Don't know where you're coming from, but you're coming soon. To a kid from Oregon, away of California, and all of this is more than I've ever known or seen. Come on and we'll see.
I want to talk to you about Thomas Helbig and the Retirement Advisory Group. I really love being able to hook good people up with good people. And you are good people. When you are part of the 97.1 family, it's very important to me that when I put my name next to Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group, that we understand together that you are going to be in good hands. Your retirement is going to be in the best hands when you partner up with them to make sure that that transition out of working into your retirement, it's going to be a smooth transition, one you can trust. You have worked really hard to get where you are, and you do need to make some moves when you stop working and you start living off of what you've saved. That's where the Retirement Advisory Group comes in. Their specialty is that transition, and they've never had a client lose a penny. Why not be one of those clients? It costs you nothing to set up an appointment. You have zero obligation once you've had that appointment. You can walk away and say, nope, not for me. But give them a chance to earn your business. 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. Online at retirementkey.com.
You're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Have you ever been sitting around or driving like you're probably doing right now? Man, I think I need a new furnace or an air conditioner. Have you? I mean, I think about you thinking about it all the time. Regardless of what's going on right now with the economy and with these mandates and the prices going absolutely crazy, I would have to say, without a question, the best time to buy is actually right now. No gimmicks, no tricks. 5 years, no interest on a furnace and air conditioner. Get your prices, get your quotes, get your monthly payments, and then call me and find out where you can make your choice and you can still get the so-called inefficient models. Call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Again, the easiest number, Missouri and Illinois, and your only number, 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. Now that is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Triple the heat and save on a new furnace. Save 10% on a single-stage furnace, 15% off a two-stage furnace, or 20% off a multi-stage furnace. For a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Annie Fry Show wants you to see James Taylor for free. Listen from noon to 3 every day this week for them to tell you when to call. If you win, you'll get a pair of tickets to see James Taylor at the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater June 6th. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Are you aware that Fulton County requires you to disclose any relationship with someone that you're doing business with?
I'm not aware, and I know often that things are confused with state constitutional officers in county, but I'm not aware.
Okay, so it's your understanding that you don't have a duty to disclose the relationship.
She's answered that question. Let's keep going.
We the people of the United States,
More perfect.
your form of our perfect union.
Heritage legal expert Hans von Spakovsky.
Hans, I think when we were talking to you last week, we kind of had heard some of the earlier testimony in this trial, but Fani Willis had not yet taken the stand. And boy, did she come in a blaze of glory or something to take that witness stand.
Boy, she did. And look, I think I may have told you, I had heard privately from people who actually work for Fulton County government that she is an arrogant diva inside the office. And boy, didn't that come across in the way she basically, instead of answering questions, argued with the lawyers and accused them of wrongdoing, all the kind of things that as a witness you are not allowed to do. And yet the judge, except for a couple of times saying, well, I may have to strike your testimony, he let her get totally out of control. And I can't tell you how disappointed I was in the judge not doing anything about it.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about her behavior, the position that judge is in. I'm not aware of courtroom, I guess, attitude and the way that it's supposed to be handled, but it seems like every time I've taken stuff in, there's so much respect and decorum that is supposed to take place because It's incredibly intense, the situation. There's a lot at stake in, every court trial that takes place. Did she get more leash because of who she is? Was it on the judge because he was weak about it? What do you make of the decorum?
The judge was weak on it. The fact that she's a prosecutor should not give her any leeway to act in the outrageous way that she acted in the courtroom. It was his job to get her under control, even if that meant not only threatening her with contempt, but finding her in contempt and fining her for do that. For much less outrageous behavior, keep in mind that Donald Trump has been fined in cases. Certainly in the New York case, he was fined anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 by the judge for behavior that I think wasn't anywhere close to as bad as the behavior of Fani Willis in court.
Why would the judge have been so lenient?
I don't understand it. Now, I've seen a report just recently that, in fact, he was a political contributor to Fani Willis when she ran for office, which, frankly, he should have recused himself. He should have taken him out of that case. I don't think he should have remained on the case if he was a political contributor to her.
We're speaking with Hans von Spakovsky, Senior Legal Fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Every single time we cover these stories, there are, it seems like, conflicts of interest like this, and it makes me ask myself, well, maybe you can't avoid all conflicts of interest. I would hope that you could. Do you think that the judge takes in the post-game coverage of that trial, criticism of the way he handled it? Does any of that affect the way the judge does his job?
Well, you know, there was someone that once famously said that Supreme Court justices do read the editorial pages of the Washington Post and the New York Times, so it's hard to imagine that it might not influence him. I just hope that he understands that he has got an obligation to the judicial system to do the right thing here, and it was very obvious from the testimony that not only have Fani Willis and Nathan Wade been lying to the courts, but many of their other actions are clearly unethical, unprofessional, and neither she nor Nathan Wade nor anyone in her office should be on this case.
Hans, when I think a lot of people look at this and they don't understand the legal system in many ways that I don't understand it or don't know what to anticipate, which is why we have you on. If Fani loses or is disqualified from this case, people will think, okay, well, Donald Trump wins, but it's not that simple. What's at stake in the ruling that will come from this judge?
Well, I think this ruling will determine whether an extremely biased, partisan, political hack remains the prosecutor in this case. And I hate to use that kind of language, but she has shown that throughout this entire case. What the judge needs to do is dismiss her and her entire office from handling it and follow Georgia case law, which says that in situations like this, you recuse the entire office of a prosecutor and you transfer the case to another county where that district attorney can re-examine the case and determine whether it should be continued. That's what ought to happen in this case.
We're speaking with Hans von Spakovsky with the Heritage Foundation, a senior legal fellow there. I understand that you're at CPAC right now. Is that true?
I am. If you just heard a little bit of background noise, yes, because I'm at CPAC and it's pretty busy here, and there's a lot of people attending.
That's good. That's good that there's that interest level there. I wanted to talk about one of the things that Donald Trump said. I don't know if you watched the town hall that he had with Laura Ingraham, but she said she asked him at one point, is there ever a time where you just want to say, I've had enough, I quit? And his quick response was, I can't. I want to make America great again. When I compare what's been levied against him in the E. Jean Carroll case, and I add in the New York City fraud case and the punitive damages, the way that they're attacking him, watching Letitia James. I don't know why she's always whispering when she's in these interviews, but it's the weirdest thing to take in. Talking about how she looks at 40, whatever his building is in New York City every day. It's actually kind of sick to take in how much they need to get Donald Trump. I understand why he'd want to quit, but he says he doesn't want to. I don't understand how we get, even if he wins in November, how does the justice system start serving justice once again and not a political party?
Boy, I tell you, that's going to be very tough. I mean, the good thing is that if he comes in as president, he will have control over the U.S. Justice Department, and the U.S. Justice Department needs a clean sweep from top to bottom. There are many, many lawyers there, and frankly, many individuals within the FBI, which is part of the Department of Justice, who need to be terminated. They need to be shown the door. And there's all kinds of reforms that need to go on there to stop what has happened with DOJ and the FBI, which is engaging in, frankly, political investigations and political prosecutions. Look, we just saw a great example of the dual system of justice that has come in. You know, that special report on Joe Biden says that he willfully retained classified materials after he left office. That is exactly the same thing.
The vice president office. Yeah.
Yeah, the vice president. That is exactly the same thing that Donald Trump is being criminally prosecuted for under the Espionage Act, and yet the recommendation is that after Biden leaves office, he not be prosecuted. Come on, that shows you the kind of dual system we have going on.
It is outrageous, and Americans on both sides of the aisle should be outraged that anybody who's in power can utilize the justice system in this way to hurt political opponents. I'm old enough to remember when the House Democrats impeached Donald Trump because they said that he was using that phone call with Zelensky to go after a political opponent. They impeached the president over that. They've emboldened the current president to do the same thing to his political opponent, and yet here we are. So you said that there are lawyers, there are people in the Justice Department, they need to be shown the door. Does the president of the United States have the ability to do that?
He has the ability to fire every single political appointee that Joe Biden has put in, and they ought to be out the door on the first day of a new president coming in. Getting rid of career lawyers, and there's some very bad ones at the Justice Department, that is much tougher. And frankly, one of the biggest things that Congress ought to do is reform the whole civil service system to get rid of many of the protections that make it impossible to fire career civil servants. Because let me tell you, many of the career lawyers I encountered when I was at the Justice Department considered themselves to just be an adjunct of their side of the political aisle, and they shouldn't be in the Justice Department.
Do you feel like Donald Trump do you feel like that's something that he would want to do based on what you've heard him say? Should he be elected? Does he have the stones, so to speak, to go into the White House and take care of what needs to be taken care of?
Well, if he does if he fulfills his promises, yeah, I think he does, particularly given that he was at the wrong end of so many problems, even when he was president, and you had bad people inside the FBI and the Justice Department, going after him for 2 years on what turned out to be a complete and total hoax.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was president for 4 years. I've heard a lot of people say, why didn't he take care of the Justice Department when he was president in his first term? Was he too soft on the bad apples that were in the Justice Department when he was in there in his first 4 years?
I think the problem was that there wasn't enough, frankly, background checking of individuals who were politically appointed. That's very tough for a president to do because he has several thousand political appointees. And I think next time, if he is elected president, he's going to be a lot more careful about who he puts into positions of power within the Justice Department and, frankly, other departments, too.
Yeah, Hans, I would imagine it'd be easier for him to kind of have that iron fist when he also isn't looking at the need or the necessity for re-election. You can kind of go in and take care of business.
That is always true, yes.
Hans, enjoy CPAC. We look forward to finding out about your experience there next week. Thanks for being with us today.
Sure thing, anytime.
All right, bye-bye. Hans von Spakovsky, live at CPAC, Senior Legal Fellow at the Heritage Foundation, a former FEC Commissioner and DOJ lawyer, and our friend here on Thursdays on the Annie Fry Show. We're going to speak with Tyrus in the 1 o'clock hour, so stick around for that. We're also giving away James Taylor tickets today. You want to win a couple tickets to go see James Taylor for free? We would love to give those to you, so make sure you're listening. We'll say in the 2 o'clock hour, Ryan Wiggins will give those away then, but he'll be in studio next for Wiggins America. More overrated places you may have visited. Stick around for that and go vote in the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Was your cell service disturbed today? Yes or no? We want to hear from you. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
The needs of modern businesses are always changing, but corporate cards haven't evolved in decades. Until now. Meet Ramp, the all-in-one finance platform that combines corporate cards with spend management software. Ramp is the only card designed to actually help your business spend less, not more. With Ramp, you can set custom controls to stop out-of-policy spend before it even happens. And Ramp software even does expense reports for you. No more manual entries, no more chasing receipts. And with best-in-class accounting integrations, you'll close your books in days, not weeks. Ramp gives you better insights and a real-time view of all company spend, so you can stay focused on the big picture and build a healthier business. Join over 15,000 businesses who have switched to Ramp and start saving an average of 5%. Modern finance runs on Ramp. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. That's ramp.com/free.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at ThrottleNet. So I'm so very proud to have represented the guys at ThrottleNet for all of these years. They are the IT geniuses. George and Mike are the owners. Fantastic guys. They can do all of your IT. They can do a portion of your IT. They have the best Apple support team. Their response time is under 2 minutes. Think about that, under 2 minutes. Something goes sideways with your IT, and they are solving your problem. And they're solving your problem within 2 minutes. Now, let's talk about cybersecurity. Most companies in St. Louis don't have cyber liability insurance. You get hit, you're on the hook, you're probably out of business. With ThrottleNet, if we represent you, we protect you. The first $500,000 that someone hits you for, which isn't going to happen, but if it does, we pay it. $500,000. That's what you're covered for with ThrottleNet. Go to throttlenet.com/DGS for all the information.
The only person who can change your life is you, but you need to know how. Listen to my show, The Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
Live chat poll, was your service disturbed today? Yes or no? Let us know what you think and whether your cell service was disturbed today in the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. It is 12:45. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
The Annie Fry Show wants you to see James Taylor for free. Listen from noon to 3 every day this week for them to tell you when to call. If you win, you'll get a pair of tickets to see James Taylor at the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater June 6th. So listen to the Annie Fry Show all this week. There's a chance every day to win, noon to 3, on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis's home for conservative talk. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I've been a rock and I got my fences.
ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you again more places that the travel blog Explored Planet is saying, if you've been there, you wasted your time. And I want to know.
What a wonderful topic.
Well, I thought these were interesting last time. These
just
are
to
more.
inform people that if you've done this, you've wasted your time.
You know what? Yes, but also don't go there if you haven't. That's more important.
Maybe
take that angle instead of you wasted your life.
Yeah. Tune in to the Annie Fry Show to find out all the mistakes you've made.
Yeah, there's things you've done in your life that you should not have done, and we're going to cover those in this segment. The first one is Kentucky's Ark Encounter and Creation Museum.
Says them.
Yeah. Says them. I have been to this one. Has anybody else been?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
I'd like to go.
Recently?
I went, it was shortly after it first opened.
Okay, so that would have been 2017, 18, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Because I just went last year, and I disagree because the spectacle of how big that Ark is was incredible. However, after being awed by the size of that Ark, which is built to spec, it wasn't something we loved after that.
It fooled you with science.
I don't know. It was, I think maybe the age of my kids, that might have been a part of it, that they kind of wanted to run through it. And it was a lot of educational stuff.
So like if you've ever been to it, it is a very much, it's an educational experience.
Yeah, were you expecting the flood too?
I was hoping there'd be some rides.
Ryan was looking for rides. This is the Ark Encounter. I want to slide down a giraffe's neck.
Yeah.
I think it's, what is it? The
Ride a hippo.
The Pirates one. What's that?
The Buccaneer?
The Buccaneer.
Yeah, it just swings back and forth.
It's not like that.
I wanted the
Not like
whole
that.
Ark to go back and forth.
Where are the elephants?
No, but I mean, you walk through the Ark, and it's built on the designs that are in the Bible, and they show ways that that many people could have managed that many animals and all this other stuff.
Be like the Buccaneer. Now we're on to something.
Now you're paying. Because it wasn't cheap to get in. That's actually what the blog says. Is that they don't really criticize anything other than they say it's a little overpriced. And I would kind of agree with that. Although, gosh, it had to have been a lot to build that thing. And there wasn't a lot of... It's not like a theme park where you have investors that are looking to gain money back out. This is a ministry.
And it's more of a museum than a theme park.
It is.
Does the money made go to a cause?
It's probably part of that nonprofit. I don't think anybody's making money off of the ticket sales. It goes to basically sustain itself.
Answers in Genesis is
the
organization.
Yes.
I would still like to go.
I would recommend
And
it.
if I went, it would be like the first thing I did that day or a portion of the day. It's not like you take a weekend.
Well, that's what we did. We took a weekend.
Well, maybe that was wrong.
And we went.
Maybe that was the mistake and waste of time.
We went there first, and then we went to Creation Museum, which is almost on the Ohio border. It's not right by there.
So you did more than just go to the Ark?
We did more than the Ark. We did over 2 days, and 2 days in a row with at the time, 5-year-old. It was a little much because there wasn't enough rides. If the thing had moved like the Buccaneer, it would have been a little bit more exciting. So I don't necessarily say
5-year-old.
that is a waste of time, but do be prepared to spend a little money when you go. The next one is Graceland. Has anybody been to Graceland?
No.
No, Leah?
No.
I haven't either. They say, are you a huge Elvis Presley fan? If so, then even you might not enjoy a trip to Graceland in Tennessee. Many still love the king, but his Graceland mansion is a waste of a tourist attraction. It said everything looks kind of lavish, but unless you're looking for Elvis trivia, there's not that much there to do.
Yeah. Right before I started on the show, we went to Memphis. We wanted to catch a Memphis Redbirds game. Highly recommend that if you get a chance. Go watch the Memphis Redbirds play. It's the Cardinals AAA team. And Terry's like, do you want to go to Graceland? I was like, well, how much is it? And then I forget what the prices were. It's like $60 or $70 a ticket or something like that. And I was like, nah. Not really.
Really that expensive?
Yeah, it's super expensive.
Wow. That's not mentioned here. Next one is Chicago's Magnificent Mile. It says it just doesn't measure up to the hype.
Because that's false when it was in its heyday, which means like not ridden with crime.
Mm-hmm.
There lots of stores have left.
It says it doesn't mention that. It says most of what's located in the Magnificent Mile can be found in most American cities at this
Is
point.
a conservative or liberal travel blog?
It doesn't really seem to have a lean, which is
surprising that they wouldn't
hard
mention
to find.
the crime and bad policies.
Driven stories out of Magnificent Mile. It says it shouldn't be the focal point of a Chicago vacation. It's not even really that great for the views, and it is what Rodeo Drive is to Beverly Hills, Fifth Avenue to Manhattan, making it just basically the 8th most expensive place to rent in the United States, and not the focus of a vacation.
Do these people also tell you fun places to go?
No, they hate everything.
Like, it sounds like it. If you went to Chicago and you were doing all of the things, I think you'd want to go down the
You have to
Magnificent
put
Mile.
that on the list. I mean, you go see the Bean, Navy Pier.
What's the Bean?
Sarah, the dinosaur, whatever her name is, Alice, I don't remember.
You never heard of the Bean?
What's the Bean? No, what's the
Everybody
Bean?
knows what the
Giant
Bean
upside
is.
down bean.
Bean sculpture. Shiny.
Maybe I haven't. I don't remember that at all. I thought I'd been there, but now I'm going, well, if I missed the Bean, maybe I wasn't at the right place.
Chicago? He was the Bean in Chicago.
He was in Milwaukee.
That'd be like missing the arch.
We took a left at Peoria. I thought it was Chicago.
Turns out it was Des Moines.
The next one is, this one I love, so I very much disagree with it. Georgia's World of Coca-Cola.
I've been there.
Me too.
It's cool.
Right? It's very cool.
The best part's the tasting room where they've got all the Coke products from all over the world. And the best part of that is to sit down and watch people try Beverly, which is the worst tasting soda out of all of them. And I think it's from Italy. And you just sit there and people go by, you get these little sample cups and they go by and they're like, ooh, this is good.
You know,
Ooh,
you can
this
do
is
that
good."
in Epcot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to go do that.
They have a Coke store.
We just did it for the first time. They don't have quite the variety of flavors in the Cool Club, but they do, which is what it's called at Epcot. But they do have a lot of them, and it is very fun to do.
Yeah.
I will. The only thing I'll say is that if you go in there, take itty bitty drinks because you will get so sugar and syrup overloaded by the end of the tasting session that you won't want to taste everything that they have to offer. But I do recommend it. Very fun. Next one is Forget the Alamo. Anybody been to the Alamo? I haven't either.
I've only been to Austin, Texas, and that was for work.
This says it's one of the most...
the airport.
Okay.
Dallas.
Says it's one of the most famous places in Texas is the Alamo in San Antonio. May be interesting to see the Alamo in person, but there's not much to it besides a tall stone building in the middle of a park. Luckily, the Alamo is a short distance from San Antonio Riverwalk where patrons can walk along scenic banks. I don't know. I still would like to see it, though.
Yeah. It seems like a lot of these things that they're naming are like a day or part of a day trip, and then you just see it as part of your trip to San Antonio or to Cincinnati or wherever you're going.
Yeah, don't make it the point of the trip. This one, I
need you to write a strongly worded email about how going down this adventure was, in fact, potentially a mistake.
I do that.
Yeah.
I write strongly worded emails. to
Travel
companies.
blogger, what was it called?
Explored Planet.
Explored Planet. I just want to know where they want us to go.
Somebody tell me that they've been to, please, we're Midwesterners here, the world's largest ball of twine.
No.
I haven't either, but everybody always talks about it.
Like
Where's
a ketchup
it at?
bottle.
Let me see here. It says it's in Kansas, Cawker City, Kansas.
No.
So they say, don't worry about it. It is just a ball of twine.
You're from Collinsville. Are you proud of the ketchup bottle?
Heck yes, we are.
Not we. I'm asking you.
Yes, I am. I am a Collinsvillian, and therefore I am proud.
I would go with Collinsvillian.
No, we are 100% of us are proud of the ketchup bottle.
What kind of pride?
I don't know what that means.
K-Hawk pride.
We have a parade, if that's what you mean.
That counts.
We're the condiment capital of the world, you understand.
I'm a game on the horseradish thing.
The horseradish capital of the world and the largest ketchup bottle.
Because you are actually producing horseradish.
Because we make horseradish and it is potent.
Let's go back to
it'll open up your sinuses.
Ketchup bottle that was a water tower.
Yes, it was.
Then what?
Well, now when you drive by it, you point at that and go, that's the world's largest ketchup bottle.
No, you drive by and you go, there's the ketchup bottle.
No, you don't.
Everybody does it. There's the ketchup bottle.
I take my hat off whenever we go by.
I'm not mad at the ketchup bottle. And
you're just jealous. That's what you are.
Edwardsville needs to build one that's just a little bit bigger.
Just because.
That'd be the snottiest thing in the history of the world.
Amazing.
That would be like the most Edwardsville thing to do. I'm from Edwardsville, people.
You know what we do? We just expand ours a little bit, and then it would become a thing. I'm fine with that, though. Let's do that. Let's
Glenn
make that a
Carbon
thing.
steps in and is like, sit down.
Yeah,
But boy, do we have something for you. Let's talk to Tyrus when we come back.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. I depend on them for eye care, and they have an announcement. They're pleased to welcome Dr. Samuel Berry to their practice. Dr. Berry is a cornea surgeon, and he has the latest knowledge and techniques for advanced eye care and treatment in the field. So what do we call them now? The doctors? No, just the best doctors to see for your best vision. In St. Louis, you can reach them at 314-966-5000. They've treated more than 250 doctors, more than any others in the practice. Now, if you need help with dry eye, LASIK surgery, maybe you have glaucoma, macular degeneration. I had an eye disease when I was just 25 years old, so my eyes are very important to me. You get the absolute best care with the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Bersati, Andy Royer, and now Dr. Samuel Berry. 314-966-5000 or visit youridoc.com. They have a great location just off Manchester Road, a half-mile west of 270. Ophthalmology Associates.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The border and the executive pen. I'm Therese Crowley, Fox News. Can President Biden's executive pen make the border crisis disappear? Well, the president now reported considering executive action and invoking a 1952 law on America's national interest to shut down migrant entries for asylum. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson.
And this is something, of course, that Republicans have been calling for years, including former DHS Chief Chad Wolf. Bring back some of those Trump-era policies that President Biden scrapped on his first day in office. A White House spokesman telling Fox News, quote, "No executive action, no matter how aggressive, can deliver the significant policy reforms and additional resources Congress can provide and that Republicans rejected." And recall last month, President Biden said he can't do anything more to fix the border, where more than 7 million migrants have entered the United States under Biden's watch.
And President Biden in California moving to forgive student debt for another 150,000 borrowers. GOP presidential candidate Nikki Haley tells the Faulkner Focus.
It is unthinkable. And it's the worst of socialism when you see that he is basically making people who didn't go to college pay for those who did.
But the repeated push to forgive student debt may be paying off for the president in new polling data on young people's support. Fox's Peter Ducey.
President Biden is leading Donald Trump by 4 points in a hypothetical head-to-head, 49-45, according to a Quinnipiac survey, even though Trump is seen as having much better physical fitness and mental fitness than Biden. The president joked to donors in California, "By the way, I know I'm only 40 years old, times 2, but, you know, the only thing I do know is that I may not run as I used to, but I tell you what, I have been around long enough to know what's going on. Top Democrats are betting an emphasis on climate change and gun control will keep young voters behind Biden.
America is listening to Fox News.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-919-3200. That's 800-919-3200. 800-919-3200.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Cooler weather now sinking in as a cool front comes by and swings our winds to the northwest. Still a chance of a scattered shower or a rumble of thunder. 62 for the high. Tonight, clearing skies. Let's take it down to about 38. Friday, sunny. Cool day, 55. Saturday, sunny and 52. Don't forget the full moon coming up Saturday night. Sunday, sunny and springtime again, 68. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Heroes Care is fulfilling their mission of serving military members in many ways. Brad Range here from the Annie Fry Show. Every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., Heroes Care is offering free haircuts at the Mission Depot. Learn more and make an appointment at 971talk.com/care.
Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. That's 314-752-5000. So if you need some extra cash, looking for that one-of-a-kind piece, make Jewels on Hampton your first stop. Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The vote is in. STL Today has certified the result. Onderlaw has been voted 2023's best law firm in St. Louis.
When you're injured, call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9000000.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this
Right? You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry
You
Show.
see a lot of these weird people teaching classes, and you don't necessarily want them giving advice to children about decisions for the rest of their life. And here's an important point that people need to really take into consideration. There's a reason why they have little kids become suicide bombers. Because you can talk kids into almost anything. You talk them into believing in Santa Claus. You talk kids into believing in all kinds of ridiculous because they're really young. You could easily convince them in one way or another that they're anything, that they're queer, that they're trans. You could 100% convince some kids of all kinds of things, especially by reinforcing it with love and support and happiness.
You're becoming like my most stable relationship.
Enough said.
Joe Rogan is there talking about the ease with which you can convince kids to believe in things. And then you see day after day after day, if you're on the internet or if you've seen social media, where these people who are in the classroom are bragging about how they are advocating behind their parents' back about what they're influencing children on, really against a lot of parents' wills, and how would they even know? In the state of Illinois, I talked about this yesterday, Illinois House Bill 4876 amends the Abused and Neglected Child Reporting Act and provides that abused child means a child whose parent or immediate family member or any person responsible for the child's welfare or any individual residing in the same home as the child or a paramour of the child's parent denies the child access to necessary medical care, including, but not limited to, primary care services, abortion services, or gender-affirming services. In Illinois, the Illinois House wants to make it if you deny them gender-affirming care, you will now be guilty of neglect and abuse to that child. Tyrus joins us. He's a regular on Gutfeld, Fox News contributor, and his latest show on Fox Nation, Tyrus Here and Now. Check out that stand-up special. Welcome back to the show, Tyrus. We appreciate you.
Oh, thanks for having me.
What do you think about what you take in? However, I know that you try to limit your social media exposure, but you can't avoid some of these teachers who are using the classroom to influence, maybe say groom children to be a certain type of lifestyle or expose them to a lifestyle outside of the knowledge of the parents.
Well, I mean, there's two. Obviously, there's homeschool, which I think we need to look about expanding in the private sector to where groups, families, and neighborhoods can work together with maybe a private teacher opposed to a public teacher. You know, give teachers opportunities to earn some real paychecks and do some real good in the classroom, which as a teacher, that is, I would say 99% of teachers' goals. The problem is that parents, we have to be vigilant. We just can't assume school is a safe place. You just can't assume that it was the school that you used to go to, because it's not anymore. So you have to be vigilant. You got to go to the opening night and meet the teacher before your class, before you leave your little darling to start going to school, because that'll be a big thing. The first day you meet them, impressions are everything. And if you don't feel good about it, then at least at that point as a parent, you can do something about it. But you got to make the time to make sure you're at all those school meetings and be those teachers' worst nightmares if their curriculum is not school approved or their personal life. It's just amazing to me. No teachers were never did talk about their personal life. It was rare. I think I was maybe like a shock when you met your teacher's husband or wife. You know,
never
like
even
it was
considered that they'd have a
it
husband.
Just wasn't there. You just didn't know that stuff. You know, and so it's just amazing to me that why you're there to teach, which means you're supposed to take knowledge and transfer it to our kids. Not supposed to, if you want to write an autobiography, then do that and see if people want to buy it. But putting your personal beliefs and feelings on children to make yourself feel better, it goes back to that thing again. America has been afraid of a small, loud mob, and we need to remember that they're small. There's no 90% of the stuff, the facts they kick are completely made up. So we just need to be vigilant and stay on top of it. And if there's enough of us together, it's a lot easier to get things done. So as communities, we have to be communities again. We have to look out for each other.
Yeah. And I think that building those communities, maybe it's in, as you said, like a homeschool co-op of sorts. I'm a huge advocate for parochial education. If a faith life is something that is important to a parent to find an alternative, affordable option outside of public school, I really wonder if the pendulum can swing further to, I guess, the woke left on this issue. I feel like, and I hate to even manifest this into existence by saying it out loud, but how can it get worse than it is right now? You would think that the pendulum would have to start coming back to the middle.
I think it is, because I think enough people are starting to get affected who care more about truth than necessarily their payday. We're seeing, I've always kind of been on the front line against this, but when you see the Joe Rogans, the Elon Musks, you're seeing more and more actors that are starting to say, you know what, for a long time I stayed quiet because I was afraid of how it would affect my wallet. And now they're saying, you know what, there are some things more important than my wallet. So we're seeing that. And again, it just goes back to when it starts affecting enough people, people start paying attention to the real stuff, and we won't get sidetracked with all the stuff they throw at us to distract us. So I think it's starting to pull back, because also another thing is, whenever you have a plan over time, I'm sure the woke in the beginning thought the buildings and the CEOs and the companies that got behind this thought it was going to be huge for them, and now the bottom line's coming in, and they've lost money, ruined careers, destroyed reputations. So now you might see them all of a sudden this revolt. But we as consumers need to remember the only reason why that they are doing this change is not because they hear our message, it's because we hurt their wallets. Mm-hmm. And so that's why, I still, everyone wants the Bud Light thing. I'm sorry, you had a man with woman face on making fun of women. I think you need to do better than give a couple of people commercial deals. Yeah. And 350 people that were fired need to be rehired. And there needs to be an apology to women. I think you can't just say, oops, sorry, we're going to do it this way. I think that because that shows the line being drawn. There has to be a line when it comes to what you want to do in the privacy of your own home. I have no issue with, but I don't. That's why I live in my own home. I don't live in somebody else's home, so I have to watch what they do or have their belief systems pushed on me. So there's no reason. And the school is the same thing. Like, you're not there to push your stuff on people. You're there to educate children and get them ready for the world. And this stuff is not getting them ready for anything.
We're speaking with Tyrus. Of course, you see him on Gutfeld. He's a regular there. He's a Fox News contributor. He also has his latest book out called Nuff Said. Be sure to pick that up and read it. You will very much so enjoy it. I understand that you have spent, from reading your first book, Just Tyrus, that you are an educator and you understand what it's like to be in a classroom, and especially to be around impressionable kids. And you've had quite a story, which I encourage people to check out your first book so that they can learn about where you come from. But you understand a classroom environment, and you understand how, in some cases, these kids are looking for someone to guide them, to care for them. And that is a situation that is ripe for someone to take advantage of those kids.
There's a great responsibility there. When you're working with children, and if you break through them, and like I said, I was working with some of the level 14 kids who had a lot of issues, a lot of delays, a lot of behavior management issues. But to reach them, there's always a line because it's hard. We're all human, and it's hard not to get attached to kids when you're teaching, especially younger kids, and then you see them the light bulb starts to turn on and stuff, and their successes is your successes as a teacher. But the excitement should be about watching the student grow, not conforming them to be like you. I would, as a teacher, I would never even think about that. You need to lead by example, and pushing my own beliefs and stuff, like making the whole class New England Patriots fans, or you're going to get a F on the paper. If I did something like that, it would be a huge, big deal. And all I'm asking to do is change their favorite team. So, it's just about principalities right now in this country.
Yeah, and it really does take people who are going to stand up, but also walk away from industries. Like there is a woke industrial complex, and I think about how this whole movement really started with businesses or corporations or maybe public entities being scared into trying to be more inclusive in a way that was punitive to other. Like you couldn't be inclusive without being exclusive, and then the people descend upon it. Black Lives Matter is an industry that comes to mind because what they didn't really end up helping the Black lives that supported that effort that took place in 2020.
Yeah. But the thing is sometimes I say scared. No, I think they saw an incredible opportunity to be able to do whatever they want to do as long as they make a couple of woke activists rich and they spend a little bit of money and do an ad campaign for them, which is nothing for them. And they get all these virtue signaling points. Oh, look what we've done for this. But the act is just the discussion of the deed. It's like they just saying they're doing something. So that's good enough. And they have a celebrity to back them up, so it's legitimate. Even though they're doing nothing for their frontline workers, or not doing anything about their working conditions or raises, they're spending $1 million on here and there on some ad campaigns with some thirsty actors who will say anything if the money's right. I mean, that's the business. So, so I mean, that's the ugliness of it all. So I think, and a lot of times Americans will just kind of let water roll off their back, and I think it was the fact that finally everyone started, especially men, started speaking up. I think that was the biggest thing. Turns out all the feminists in the world are actually alpha toxic males like myself, because we're the ones going, wait a minute, I don't, for me to be like my daughters and my wife have no idea what March Madness is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just ridiculous. It's stupid. And that's a great time for women's basketball. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just, their tournament is just as exciting, and everyone's still talking about LSU and
Caitlin Clark, Iowa.
Caitlin Clark, yeah, So, I mean, but in those instances, we all think of the other side of it. So we have to start, and we have to take a hard stand for that. You can't just be, when it's right for my side, that you have to take a stand. And we have to take a stand, So,
well,
I won't let that stuff go. So
you've absolutely done that, and you're doing it all across the country. And I had to fact check this while we were discussing here. But Anthony on our YouTube channel said Tyrus is going to be in Farmington in May, and I checked it, and it looks like, is it May 20th? You're going to be in Farmington, Missouri, and it says limited tickets available. And that's within our listening area, so I want to encourage people to go get your tickets.
It's also within driving distance of Pappy's as well.
Yeah.
So,
well, you make sure you contact us if you're around noon to 3. We'll make room for you.
I will always contact you guys. So, but yeah, I'm excited. Monday, it's May 20th. May 20th.
Yep.
7:30. I'm excited to be back.
That sounds great. Tyrus, thanks for being with us. We always appreciate you.
Always a pleasure.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. He is a regular on Gutfeld, Fox News contributor, and host of Maintaining with Tyrus on Outkick. He has got so many things that he is juggling right now, and we're really grateful that he has kept the Annie Fry Show on Thursdays as a part of it. I started doing this midday show in 2018, and I think that he started on with us on Thursdays in 2018. And he's my longest regular guest, and was really excited when we talked to him about coming on this show, and his profile has grown significantly in the time that he's been on with us, and he's always made time for you. It's about you, not about me, and I'm just really grateful for it. It's a cool relationship that you all have with Tyrus, and he values that a lot. So go to Farmington. If you haven't seen Tyrus yet, I've seen him multiple times. It's a great show. You will enjoy every bit of it. And he's in Farmington, Missouri on May 20th. Go sell that show out right now. That'd be pretty cool. Let's take a quick break. Ryan Wiggins back in studio with us when we come back. Anthony, thank you for the tip on the YouTube channel. While you're there, make sure you vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Was your cell service disturbed today? Yes or no? Ken commented, mine was out most of the morning. AT&T just showed SOS. I'm learning that means that you have an iPhone. Let us know what you think. We'll be right back.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
things that I appreciate so much about Michael's Flooring Outlet is their long-term investment in 97.1, just like I was speaking about Tyrus. It's a long-term investment in you because they understand that the heart and soul of 97.1 is you. It's good people like you that understand quality and value, shopping local and supporting local, which Michael's Flooring Outlet is absolutely a family-owned and operated business, 30 years here in St. Louis, with 3 locations that you can shop anytime in St. Charles County, West County, or Darting Prairie. But you can always go online to igotfloored.com as well. It's important that Michael's understands that when I talk to you, it's from the heart. And when I advise you to do your flooring shopping, to at least give Michael's Flooring Outlet a look-see before you make your flooring purchase, that you trust me. And I'm always going to be honest with you. What you're getting from me is always my name next to people who I believe in, and Michael's Flooring Outlet is 100% that. If you're looking for flooring for your residential flooring, your commercial flooring needs, Michael's Flooring Outlet can service both of those for you. And they're waiting for you to reach out to them, mention the Annie Fry Show when you do, and shop with a local business at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They have all the products that you need there, a whole bunch of different options on aesthetic. They can work with your budget, and they're waiting for you to stop by. Go online to igotfloored.com.
The IRS definitely ramped up operations since the pandemic slowed them down, and activity only increases from here. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. If you're currently under audit or you haven't paid your taxes in the past, now's the time to call the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS has a published Taxpayer Bill of Rights, which says you have the right to retain legal representation. Because IRS problems are legal problems, and the Lance Story Law Firm focuses specifically on addressing IRS issues for our clients. It's all we do. We get out in front of the IRS, devise the best resolution plan, and work to make sure you're able to take advantage of every program you're qualified to receive. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure company, call the Lance Story Law Firm. We're local, located right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURYlaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
The needs of modern businesses are always changing, but corporate cards haven't evolved in decades. Until now. Meet Ramp, the all-in-one finance platform that combines corporate cards with spend management software. Ramp is the only card designed to actually help your business spend less, not more. With Ramp, you can set custom controls to stop out-of-policy spend before it even happens. And Ramp software even does expense reports for you. No more manual entries, no more chasing receipts. And with best-in-class accounting integrations, you'll close your books in days, not weeks. Ramp gives you better insights and a real-time view of all company spend, so you can stay focused on the big picture and build a healthier business. Join over 15,000 businesses who have switched to Ramp and start saving an average of 5%. Modern finance runs on Ramp. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. That's ramp.com/free.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Selena Zito, columnist for the New York Post and the Washington Examiner.
Biden won 92% of the black vote in Pennsylvania in 2020. He is now only earning 59%. That's game over.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Damn this traffic jam. How I hate to be late. It hurts my motor.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Damn this traffic jam.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Damn this traffic jam. Well, I left my job about 5 o'clock. It took 15 minutes to go 3 blocks. Just in time to stand in line with the freeway looking like a parking lot. Damn this traffic jam. How I hate to be late. It hurts my motor to go so slow.
I don't know that I have.
This traffic jam.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Damn this traffic
You know who it is.
It's not James Taylor, is it?
No. It is.
I thought it sounded like him.
Yeah.
I don't know the song.
Looking in my rearview mirror.
Pretty city
I saw
raps.
myself the next car back.
Basically.
Looking in the rearview mirror. About to have
It's a cool
attack. I
vibe.
said, damn, this traffic jam.
I'm going to sing this every time I'm in a traffic jam now, though.
It kind of puts you in a better mood.
Or it makes you feel like misery loves company.
Yeah.
Now when I die, I don't want no coffin. I thought about it all too often. Just strap me in behind the wheel and bury me with my automobile.
Okay. I heard that. I was driving in the car, had to go to the dentist yesterday, picking up my kids, getting ready to turn into the dentist office parking lot, and that came on. I was like, oh, we're giving away James Taylor tickets this week. That's fun. And I was listening to it. I'm like, this makes me happy. He says the D word a lot.
Yeah, he does say damn a lot.
Hey.
I mean, darn.
Darn,
but
this
that's
traffic jam doesn't really work.
No, it doesn't.
Should say ham.
Yeah, ham this traffic
Yeah.
jam. It's a common phrase.
I like it. Like, if you think about James Taylor, don't you automatically think of
Sesame Street.
what?
Yeah.
Do you? Sesame?
No.
Go on.
Oh, yeah. That's the only way I know James Taylor is from when I was a kid in the 80s watching Sesame Street. It seemed like he was on every third episode. They had James Taylor on there all the time. Man. And that's where I became a little bit of a fan, but he would always play the same couple songs. Fire and Rain.
Yeah. Fire and Rain is what I was going to say that everybody thinks of.
I've seen Rain.
And that's really the only one I remember. He'd play another one that I don't remember as well, but that's it. I mean, every time I see him or even do this contest, I'm not kidding, I still think of Sesame Street.
I don't know if there's a sadder song that. Why are you nodding in affirmation?
He's laughing at me.
I'm laughing at him.
He's laughing at me.
Do it out loud so everybody can
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
I wish if you weren't looking, if you're not watching on the Any Fry YouTube channel, Ryan got done very confidently and proudly talking about whatever it is he just said. And at the end, they just both looked at each other and nodded.
Well, I was hoping to find a kindred,
Well,
but Brad was clearly
I
not.
don't think about it at all. But now I'm like, you got to do a Sesame Street styled giveaway whenever we give away those James Taylor tickets.
Be caller number 4.
We're doing a James Taylor ticket giveaway in the 2 o'clock hour, so stick around for that. Is Fire and Rain the saddest song that was ever written?
No. The saddest song that was ever written is
Cats in the Cradle?
That was my second one. I was going to say that. But
No.
Melancholy Man by Moody Blues is like the
Do I
saddest.
know that song?
No.
Okay.
I don't
Nobody
even know what the song's called, but it's Where, oh, Where Can My Baby Be? The Lord took.
Where can my baby
Yeah, it's about a
be?
dude whose
The
girl
Lord took her
died in
away
his
from me.
arms.
Okay.
That one.
I want to go back to Fire and Rain because I think it's still the saddest song that's ever been written.
Okay.
It is sad.
I don't know what the song's about.
You can't listen to that song on a sunshiny day, but you should turn it on when it's raining and you're sitting in your car with nowhere to go.
Ooh, no. That sounds terrible. That sounds like a song you'd listen to right now because it's all overcast, kind of nasty out. Actually, temperature-wise, it's okay. It just looks nasty.
I would rather be outside right now than inside.
Yeah, temperature-wise, it's pretty good. But I still, I'm going to go back to Sesame Street here because the song, when you experience it when you're 4, you don't really know what you're doing.
Which song?
Fire and Rain.
Yeah.
And I still go there in my head because I would watch Sesame Street multiple times a day.
Hold on a second. What did he do on Sesame Street?
He would just play a song.
Fire and Rain?
That one, yeah, he'd play
Gather
that one a
round,
lot.
Muppets. Let's talk about death.
I don't know. Again, I didn't even know it was about death because he was, he was just playing a nice song.
Is Fire and Rain about death? Because I always thought I'd see you again. And it's also the song that was played right when, in Remember the Titans, he gets in the car accident.
Ooh, no.
But he doesn't die. He goes on to be in the Special Olympics and win. And then he dies. At the end of the movie.
Later.
Yeah. He
Once
does
he's old.
actually, in fact, that's the way the movie starts and finishes. At his burial.
Oh, so according to Google, there has 3 verses. One is about a friend who committed suicide. Is another
Fire and Rain?
Yes. Another is about Taylor's addiction to heroin.
Okay.
And the third refers to a mental hospital and a band Taylor started called the Flying Machine.
Name a sadder song. You can't.
Not that you would know.
Bill says, what about Tears in Heaven?
Yeah, that's a sad song.
Yeah, that one's
That one
rough.
did come to mind too. That one did. That is a sad song. He also, just so for the record, he didn't say, gather round, Muppets, and then play a song.
Let me sing this
Well,
song.
you wouldn't tell them they're Muppets. That would be rude.
That would be rude because they're monsters.
Gather round, legitimate people.
Gather round, felt Lawrence's. Sorry, that's a really old joke that they people would say. What do they call Muppets in Britain? and somebody goes, Felt Lawrence.
I still don't even know why we're talking about Sesame Street.
I don't either. We're pretty deep into it now, though. Do we just plow
so
through?
So deep, it's hard to get out. I don't really know what to do.
Get through this whole segment doing that?
Dash says, If I Die Young is a very sad song by the band Perry. Are you familiar with that song?
No.
If I die young, bury me in satin. Lay me down in a bed of roses. Sink me in the river. Send me away with a love song. It's about this. The lead singer of the band Perry is a young female. She's talking about, hey, if I die young, this is what I want you to do. So the whole premise of the song is like a young person dying. She rewrote that song, and she sings the song as a response to her singing the song, If I Die Young, in a way that basically says, I like when I hear it, I feel like she's saying, it was naive and almost kind of irresponsible for me to sing that song. And I appreciate it so much. Like, I love the melody of that song. And the band Perry, I think they're very talented. But I always thought it was something that put young people in a position to kind of romanticize the idea of dying young.
Ooh.
In a way that, you know how we live in a society right now where, like, all of the things that are air quotes wrong with you are the things that are best about you.
Yes.
That's upside down.
Yeah.
The idea that you have faults is A, human, and B, not the best thing about you. We wear our victimhood like a badge today, where if you are maybe a little bit overweight, maybe you're a little underweight, maybe you're a little too tall, maybe you're a little too short, maybe your hair is not as thick and lush as you want it to be, like all of these physicalities, maybe you have too many freckles, maybe you don't have enough freckles because you can actually fake freckles now. I am a freckled individual and did not see that one coming. Maybe you're not smart enough. Maybe you're too smart and you're a nerd. Maybe you're not athletic enough. Maybe you're not coordinated enough to be a cheerleader, whatever it might be. When we grew up in the 90s, you go back, I could talk about the movie She's All That again. Like, that is a movie about cliques and social order in a way that in 2024, it does not fit in 2024. Mm-hmm. It's almost like a historical work at this point in time to go back and look at, because that's really, it maybe is an exaggeration to an extent, but not a whole lot. Did you have cliques in high school that were pretty distinct?
Yes. I would say my graduating class was actually really good, but for the most part, there were cliques all around.
But you can have cliques that don't hate each other, but still have definitive
it's like common
lines.
interest cliques, yeah. And that's the way my class would have been. There were definitely groups of people who were the jocks and the nerds and the auto video guys and all that stuff. The AV club. But in my class, at least, everybody got along pretty well.
Like there was a respect on a human level across lines.
Yeah.
Not always the case.
It really isn't. That's why I'm pointing out.
And maybe even more of the exception of the rule. Did you?
Oh, for sure. For sure. And they were a little more hostile. And I'd never really fully fit into any particular clique, and I would float between them, but never really fully accepted in any of them because I didn't fit any of the stereotypes of people.
Ryan, what clique were you in?
The like super, super smart, good looking ones. It was uncomfortable because you had all these people trying to get in all the time, and you were like, look, I don't dislike you, but you do not belong here.
You're not smart enough.
Yeah.
Was there anyone else in this clique with you, or did you just establish the club yourself?
It was mostly me. A couple of the teachers were in there. That was kind of cool. The younger
and your
teachers.
Parents.
Yeah. My parents were not in. They tried to get in, but I said no.
You wrote them out.
I did, yeah. We had a couple of sub teachers. Mr. Randall, he was the lead singer of the Fragile Porcelain Mice. He was in it, and me.
I need a documented map of this segment, just so I can go back and learn what we talked about. What clique were you in?
That's what was weird, is that I had a little clique of people who were, I don't know, we wouldn't call ourselves comedians, but we definitely were.
I was a part of the comedians.
Yeah, we were definitely drawn to each other because we would try to make each other laugh.
Did you find each other through just being in the same classes?
Mostly. Yeah, mostly in the same
Detention?
classes. No. I was in the honors classes, oddly. And it was.
I know of honor students who have gotten a detention or two.
No, that doesn't happen. We follow the rules. And that's how we achieve honors, is we follow the rules, Annie. No, I really don't know. That was why it was a weird class, is because, like Brad, a lot of us floated between cliques, because I was also in a lot of athletics, but I wasn't a part of those groups. I wasn't on the football team, for instance, but I hung out with them a lot.
You were in a lot of athletics?
I played a lot of sports.
Didn't you play golf?
But I didn't, yeah, I don't have like a Letterman jacket in all of them. I had golf. That was it. But we didn't have a clique.
What sports did you play for Collinsville High School?
Just golf.
But you were in a lot of athletics.
Yeah, I was very athletic.
Did they not know you were there?
Yeah, I was. I would have been considered.
Put me in, coach. Who the hell are you?
Who's that kid on the end of the bench over there?
Yeah, he snuck in. He's really good looking and smart, though.
But the key here is that it was funny.
Yes. As long as I got a rise out of it.
You said you didn't fit in a clique?
No. Geeky-ish, but
that
was about it.
Went to a Lutheran high school my freshman year and my junior and my senior year. I left my freshman year to go to Edwardsville High School, and I played sports there. And I played 3 sports at Edwardsville High School. And I spent all my weekends with my Lutheran high school friends. And at the end of it, I just wanted to go back. So my disjointed 4 years of high school didn't have me super fitting in anywhere. And I feel like most people tolerated me fine, and that was kind of the extent of it.
I started a club in high school.
Here we go.
It was called the Fun Club for Self-Esteem. And I had to go through the whole process.
Did you get a sponsor for it?
I had to. I had to get a teacher.
Awesome.
And I had a teacher who was like, all right.
Do you remember who the teacher was?
I think it was Mr. Haskett, who was a journalism teacher. I was in journalism.
That sounds like something journalism would be like, go for that.
I was a writer. I had a page in the newspaper, so that was another clique I was in. But I started that club, and the person who had to approve it goes, I see you have a sponsor. Can you tell me the point of the club? And I was like, well, it's
pretty self-explanatory.
It's for self-esteem. Like, we're here to build each other up. I mean, obviously. And he's like, yeah, but like, what do you do? And I'm like, I think I just told you. And he's like, disapproved.
He didn't approve it?
He did not approve my club. Today, they'd be like, oh, yeah, we should talk about that.
Oh, they'd be all over that
right,
club.
Right?
What's it called again?
The Fun Club for Self-Esteem. But that's the kind of stuff we would just constantly do.
Do you still want to make that club happen?
Yeah, I asked Odyssey, and they said absolutely, but they already had one.
Do they?
It was at corporate level. So.
Can we have an Annie Fry Show Fun Club for Self-Esteem and just send you out into the office and just compliment people?
Do you have to be on the Annie Fry Show to be in the club, too?
You are the club.
Okay.
And your outreach
Me and Mr. Randall.
Your outreach is building people up.
Okay.
As an ambassador for the Annie Fry Show.
Well, I'm going to need more than just me in the club, first of all. I'm going to need corporate approval.
No, you're not. We're not talking to corporate about nothing.
No, I think so. I'm going to reach out to the CEO and just see if this would be a good idea. And if he approves it, then yeah, I'll walk around the office.
This is how it starts. Like, things are changing.
I can say anything I want.
Reach out to the CEO, and he's gonna be like, "This is a great idea."
Uh-huh.
And next thing you know, it'll be company wide, and Ryan will be in charge.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have real responsibility.
Or maybe
this is just supposed to be fun right now.
The way I want this to play out is he just says, "Yeah, that's fine," and then I get to walk around saying anything I want to anybody and being like, "The CEO told me I could."
That's definitely not how this is going down. Let's take a quick break. If you have a sadder song than ones that we've suggested here, I would like to know what that might be. On the Annie Fry YouTube live chat, you can leave a comment there. What about Danny Boy?
That one was on my list, too. I've got 2 more that if we come back and talk about it,
All
then
right.
I'll
we'll
mention.
See if anyone else suggests ones worth mentioning. Russell says we all need Annie's Letterman's jackets. I have two letter jackets from 2 high schools, and I lettered in sports at both of them.
What sports were they?
At Edwardsville High School, I played volleyball, basketball, and track. I was most valuable sophomore on the track team at Edwardsville High School.
Wow, MVS.
MVS. And I was a 4-sport athlete at Metro.
Seems like you're bragging now.
I am.
Yeah,
I wasn't a member of the Fun Club for Self-Esteem, though. It is on my list of to-dos.
Apparently Ryan wasn't either.
Yeah, that's true. I like your point. We'll be right back.
About to have a heart attack. I said, damn, this
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Damn, this traffic jam. Now when I die, I don't want no coffin. I thought about it all too often. Just strap me in behind the wheel and bury me with my automobile. Damn, this traffic jam. How I hate to be late. It hurts my...
Well, hate to interrupt that, but I want to tell you about Stewie and Stewart's American Mortgage. My friend Stewie is there to help you through your mortgage purchasing situation, and he's the best at it. I can say this personally from experience. Two-time customer myself of the Bagel Loan with Stewart's American Mortgage, and there were no closing costs. There was no hidden way to get the closing costs through that don't come up later. They're just not there. Stewie takes care of you. When you call or text Stewie at 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440, he's going to pick up that phone. You're going to talk to him about how a bagel loan can help you. Also, if there's another scenario where he can help you even more than a bagel loan, he's going to let you know about that. And as rates go up or go down, he's going to have you locked in where you need to be, full communication with you, doing business the old-fashioned way, the way it's supposed to be. And you're going to be a very satisfied customer like many other Annie Fry Show listeners have been. Reach out to Stewie and tell him Annie sent you, 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. You can Google the Bagel Loan to find out more information as well. NMLS number 226715.
Human trafficking is happening right here in Missouri. You can help combat it by learning the signs of human trafficking and reporting suspicious activity to law enforcement. Victims may appear malnourished, show signs of physical or mental abuse, or avoid social interaction. If you're a victim or know someone who needs help, contact the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888 or text the word HELP to Be Free. Together, we can stop human trafficking in Missouri.
Brought to you by the Missouri Attorney General's Office.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
The right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Once again, stick around because we're going to give away tickets to James Taylor's show on June 6th in the 2 o'clock hour. That is just around the corner, so stick around for that. Let us know, too, if you had any trouble with your cell service today. It's the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Was your cell service disturbed today? Yes or no? We'd like to see the results of that at the end of the show. It is 1:46. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
You're here to connect and to know. We're here to deliver the world, the country, and the community.
Your home for conservative talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. This is certainly a happy song. Yeah?
Yeah.
This makes you want to join the fun club, right?
Yeah, once we get it sponsored and approved by the CEO.
Because right here.
Hey.
Yeah. It'll make you happy. Unlike The Living Years by Mike and the Mechanics.
Yes, oh my gosh.
Which was mentioned by Ken on YouTube, and I haven't heard that song in forever, but I probably could listen to it right now and would immediately cry.
I'm playing it if you want to pull me up.
Really?
Yeah.
You just have it there?
I have it ready to go.
Oh, man, that synthesizer.
Mm-hmm. It's good stuff.
80s?
It's got to be.
Do you know the song? You don't know the song?
That's why I pulled it up, because I thought a lot of people would not.
I have to hear more of it.
Blames the one before.
1988.
Yeah, makes sense.
And all of their frustration.
Ooh, this song gives me chills.
It's just cold in here.
Is that what it is? Okay.
You can.
Know that I'm a prisoner to all my father held so dear. I know that I'm a hostage to all his hopes and fears. I just wish I could have told him in the living years.
You know, I was thinking it's kind of an interesting tie into something that I was just thinking about within the last 24 hours. You know, the president election in November. We are in 2024. This is upon us right now, 257 days, and the election will be decided. The next 4 years will be determined. I remember when Joe Biden won in 2020 going, we have 4 years, if not 8, but at minimum 4 years of being on this side of this thing. And I remember feeling very defeated by it. I know so many people, and, you know, of course, if you're listening, we appreciate you being here. But I know there are people listening right now who do not watch cable news on their television the way they did before 2020. When Donald Trump was the president, everything happened that happened during November and December of 2020. Enter 2021, January 6th happens. Everybody is on high alert in every possible way. Everybody's agitation level is at the max. And I was just thinking, you know, I'm going to be 40 in April. God willing, there are going to be many presidents that I will live through in the rest of my life. Donald Trump is this moment in time that is right now. It's incredibly consequential. The path that we move on politically 100% goes through Donald Trump. It is going to be a part of history, and we are living to see it right now. But it isn't what is forever. But the relationships that are being lost right now and the timing of the brokenness of these relationships, you know, this song is all about, I just wish I could have told him in the living years. The people in our lives who we have lost touch with because of this one period of time is really sad to think about.
It's more of a reflection of values. I think that people are getting in fights over these politicians because they sort of are figureheads for the values that we don't share anymore. You know, we used to have a lot more of a shared ethic, and we just don't. And I think that comes up in political conversations much more when actually what they're fighting over is what's important to them through these politicians.
It matters, you know, I have people who have disowned me from family because I don't say the right things or do the right things. They've also never talked to me about it.
Yeah, that kind of stinks.
Yeah, it's really sad. I mean, I know for a fact that there are people who are related to me who feel a very specific type of way because they know where I am politically. And honestly, if I didn't have this job, they wouldn't know what they know. This is my job. And, you know, I'm not playing a part here. Nobody hands me a piece of paper in the morning to say, all right, here's what you're talking about today. Nobody does that. Nobody will ever do that. If you've listened to me for any amount of time, and if you're new to the show, you can ask my dad. It's very hard to tell me what to do and me just be like, okay, yeah, sure, let's do that. I'm for that. I've always been my own person, stubbornly so, to my detriment when I was growing up, and I was mouthy at home, and I thought that I knew what was right, and in many cases, when authority came at me and said, no, you're going to do it this way, if I felt righteous in my side, I fought for that to my own detriment. And you could ask my friends, I was grounded all of the time. And the reason I was grounded all of the time is because I would argue with my parents. I didn't do drugs. I didn't drink alcohol. I was a very prude in every sense of the term student through school. And all of my friends, when they would get grounded for doing things, maybe a little more salacious than the things that I didn't do, maybe not. If they got grounded, they could go out with me, but they couldn't go out with their other friends.
You were a good kid, but your parents were Dukakis fans. And you just couldn't handle that.
Man, you might be bumped down on the on the dad meter right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to stand.
You
next
know
to you
how
next
you
time.
yeah, you know how good you are in with my dad.
I'm trying to find the place where you fit into society. I think I found it.
I was a really good kid, and I was unfazed by societal pressures to get off the beaten path. So much so that I was stubborn about staying on the beaten path. And but I would go home, and if I had a disagreement with my mom or my dad, I would stand my ground, and then they would ground me.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, all right, you go here and think about it. My parents would ground me from anything that plugged in. TV, stereo, anything that you could enjoy.
Lights.
Yeah.
You go sit in the dark.
My friend's parents called it electrical grounding because I wasn't allowed to essentially use electricity. There are times where I'm certain, they might disagree with it, there are times where I'm certain that the point that I was arguing was the correct point, but I did it in the wrong way. I was disrespecting authority, and that was the problem. That was where the grounding came from. My dad has said to me in the time that has passed since from then to where I am now that he can see how the person who I am, how what I do right now suits me, and how a gift that I have had to be cultivated a little bit in order to be used for good, so to speak. But the idea that I come on here and I say anything ever in any day in the past, any day in the future, that it would be anything aside from what I believe in my heart of hearts. I have lost relationships over it. There have been broken relationships over it. People who have told me off in person, people who have told me off on the internet or in emails, and people who have never told me off but talk about me behind my back. Friends and family of past, those relationships have all been broken because I've always been true to myself. So it's very hard to live in a world, in a society where my job is to come to you every day and be straight from the heart and from my head without any pre-programming from anyone anywhere, and know that that's going to cause me to lose those relationships, that to what this song is talking about here. Those relations, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, those relationships are done and gone forever because I'm not the one who ended them. They were ended because I was the person who did the wrong thing, and it was severable from there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very difficult thing to swallow. And I know that people listening right now, you guys might have your own stories of people who know, I don't know, maybe it's your proximity to me or just something you've said on the air before that makes you persona non grata. And I think that right now we're living in such a stressful time that this is happening all across the country. And it is a really sad thing.
It is. And you know, the prayer is always that we go through this, we kind of figure out, you know, a lot of the chaff needs to be blown away. We can't just go back to unity for the sake of unity. We have to find common ground. And we're going to have to go through a lot of stuff as a nation to get to that point. The prayer is we go through that and we come out the other side sharing that again.
Yeah, it has to be the goal. That has to be the understanding that we're not just doing this just to win. It has to be bigger than that. All right, well, let's listen to this really sad song and bring you back in for the 2 o'clock hour, a fun 2 o'clock hour around the corner. We'll be right back.
As well as you hear. It's too late when we die.
Well, February of of course, is the month for love. And when is the last time you gave your carpet the love and attention it deserved? Have you gotten down on your hands and knees and adored how clean and refreshed it was? You probably haven't done that. I do not recommend that. Do this instead, because your carpet is likely one of the biggest investments in your home. It's also the biggest air filter in your home. Let's clean it professionally with the help of my friends at Zero Res. And lucky for you, Zero Res is going to spread the love to you and your home with their Love Their Rug special during the month of February. Take advantage. Call 314-474-2020. Go online, ZeroResSTL.com. Take advantage of a great offer. 3 rooms, professionally cleaned, zero-resified, as we like to say, starting at $119 plus a free hallway thrown in during the month of February. Let's not forget about the air ducts. During the month of February, take $50 off your air duct cleaning package when you mention my name or 97.1 FM Talk. It's super easy to make the appointment. Call Zero Res. They have tech all over the St. Louis region. 314-474-2020. Online, ZeroResSTL.com. Mention my name, Mark Reardon, or 97.1 FM Talk. Get the February deal. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same.
Hey homeowners, it's time to transform your house into a masterpiece with Lakeside Renovation and Design, your James Hardie siding experts. Picture this, durable, weather-resistant siding that doesn't just protect, but elevates your home's value and curb appeal. James Hardie, the gold standard in siding, installed by the pros at Lakeside. Say goodbye to maintenance headaches and hello to a home that stands the test of time. Ready for a siding upgrade? Lakeside Renovation and Design is your go-to. Visit our showroom or call today. Unleash the potential of your home with James Hardie Siding.
Man, I may have told this story, but right after Christmas, my brother-in-law was in town, and it was great because he lives in Chicago. He goes to his butcher. He buys Andrea's sauce at his butcher because he trusts the guy. The guy knows meat. He says, yeah, this is great. You have to use this. So when he found out that down here is where Andrea's is made, right here in St. Louis, and he was down here visiting, and of course that I know the family and do live endorsements for him, he said, oh my gosh, we got to go to the restaurant because there is only one Andrea's restaurant. The sauce is famous. I've said it before, worldwide. Certainly when you go to other cities, you can find it at just the good spots, just the butchers. So people outside of St. Louis know about Andrea's sauce, and yet if you're in St. Louis and you've never tried it, man, you got to get on the bandwagon. Get a bottle of Andrea's sauce at Dierberg's or at Schnucks or at Andreas.com, and it will change the way you cook. It is a brush-on steak sauce, so it's not necessarily something you dip your meat in. It is something you use to prepare your meat, and it is going to make everything you make better. If you've never visited the restaurants in Fairview Heights, Illinois, highly recommend that too. You can find all of this information that I'm giving you and, of course, where to buy a bottle. Their barbecue sauce, their salad dressing is great too at Andreas.com.
Need a break from the sound bites and the talking heads? Do you want information you can actually use? Information that'll change your life for the better? Then listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Fox News, a lot of pressure on the president to do something about the border, especially with more and more people showing up from more questionable countries. Fox's Peter Ducey has more.
Right now, anybody that makes it to the border can at least try to say that they are here for asylum. There is talk here about making it so that you can only do that at a port of entry. But whatever these changes may be, it represents a huge change from where this White House was 1 year ago. A White House official is telling us today no executive action, no matter how aggressive, can deliver the significant policy reforms and additional resources Congress can provide and that Republicans rejected. We continue to call on Speaker Johnson and House Republicans to pass the bipartisan deal to secure the border.
We also have a look at some of the recent numbers on where exactly migrants have been crossing and all the different places they're coming from.
Fox News has obtained some brand new internal CBP data which shows something remarkable. More Chinese nationals have been crossing here into San Diego sector in recent months. According to that data, this is the top 10 nationalities that Border Patrol have arrested crossing illegally here in San Diego sector since October 1st. Colombia is number 1. Number 2, China. 21,000 Chinese nationals have been encountered by agents here. Turkey has had more than 6,000 of its citizens apprehended here, 5,000 from Guinea in Africa.
That's Fox's Bill Malugin reporting from Southern California. Members of Congress are in Taiwan meeting with their president, Tsai Ing-wen, showing a round of bipartisan support. The delegation led by Republican Congressman Mike Gallagher, who said the partnership between the U.S. and Taiwan is, quote, more rock solid than ever. Gallagher thanked Ty for distinguishing herself as a leader within the free world. The visit bound to get some scrutiny from China, which opposed such visits in the past, like when former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi went there 2 years ago. America's listening to Fox News.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-919-3200. That's 800-919-3200. 800-919-3200.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Cooler weather now sinking in as a cool front comes by and swings our winds to the northwest. Still a chance of a scattered shower or a rumble of thunder. 62 for the high. Tonight, clearing skies. Let's take it down to about 38. Friday, sunny. Cool day, 55. Saturday, sunny and 52. Don't forget the full moon coming up Saturday night. Sunday, sunny and springtime again, 68. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
TheDiamondShop.net, the website you can check out right now to look and see some of the beautiful pieces that they have in their Clayton shop. Did you know that the Diamond Shop has been serving St. Louis families, bi-state region families, since 1910? That's pretty impressive. They're located now, they moved from St. Louis to Clayton. They've been there for quite some time, and they are so excited to take care of you. Now, February is about to wrap up, but before it does, there are some opportunities for you to save and save big, and I don't want you to miss out on these opportunities. 30% off all mounted jewelry. That's a great opportunity to save some dollars off something very beautiful that you choose at the Diamond Shop. They also have 10% off bearing watches and 10% off the February birthstone of amethyst, which is a beautiful purple color. So if you have someone who's got a February birthday, an anniversary, maybe a child or a grandchild, and you want to celebrate that with something with amethyst, now is the time to contact or show up in Clayton at the Diamond Shop and see what they have for you and save. You can find out how to become a VIP online at thediamondshop.net.
Sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic.
When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun. Always walking around with a headache.
Now her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Do you have multiple years of unfiled taxes or owe more than $8,000? The attorneys at Allies Tax Relief are your ally and will stop the IRS from garnishing your wages or them levying your bank account. Call 800-230-5174.
Information with perspective on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk. Everyone is welcome. The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. 2:07 here on a beautiful Thursday afternoon. The sun's poking through, it looks like, outside, 62 degrees, and I am looking forward to going outside and enjoying it. I am craving the sun more than I have ever craved being in the sun before right now. I don't know what it has been about this winter, or maybe it's how I'm just kind of always busy in the sense I've always got to be somewhere in a gym or whatever, but I just want to go sit on a bench in the sun.
I can tell you why. It's because yesterday, maybe the day before, it was nice enough. It almost got to 70 degrees yesterday that you could walk outside.
This did say it got to 70.
And if you were standing in the sun yesterday at about the time when this show would have ended, so about 3 o'clock, man, you could feel it for the first time in months. It felt like, oh, there's that warmth.
There it is.
Because it's been sunny, but yesterday you could feel that, you could feel the sun for the first time.
You walked out. I walked out into the parking garage, and I got out a little bit later than I usually do, closer to 5. And it hit. I was like, man, because you could tell this is what spring feels like.
I walked out the door to leave and literally put both hands out to my side and wanted to embrace it.
Like Scott Stapp.
Wanted to embrace that parking garage in all of its glory.
Yeah.
With arms.
And then I hurried up and got my car before I got bugged.
But there was a moment.
That's not funny.
But there was a moment there where you were like, faux spring.
Yeah, and then I went,
faux spring. You quickly put your arms back towards you and grabbed your mace.
I don't have mace, but I am equipped. I'll put it that way.
I was going to say, you wish she had mace.
Yeah. Well, my assailant wishes I had mace. Yeah. Let's talk about downtown St. Louis for a second. I didn't intend to talk about this, but we've discussed how we all three come from Illinois. Do you go over the San Mutual Bridge?
Yes. I go both ways, but
what?
In the morning I take 64, and in the evening I take 70.
Why?
I think it hits the lights better.
Brad?
I think
I gave
Ryan's
you a
wrong.
perfectly reasonable answer.
I think Ryan's wrong. But...
I wasn't going to judge your answer. I just wanted to make sure you had a reason.
Yeah, I do.
I can't understand mixing up. Like, sometimes I take this bridge, sometimes I take that bridge. Like, that doesn't fit my brain, but that doesn't mean that you're wrong and I'm right.
I take the Stan Bridge. Yeah.
It is such a crap hole. When you come into St. Louis, if I had not been to St. Louis before, I'd be like, nope.
I know. You know what? And I think about you every time I see that now, because nobody I know.
holes.
I'm like, man, that's a crap hole. I wonder what Annie's doing. I know, but we've talked about this because I've never heard anybody else mention it, but I guarantee everybody who sees that thinks the same thing.
Of course.
There's a huge, I guess, homeless camp now. It's just become a homeless camp.
There's trash everywhere.
With trash and fires, and I mean, you're watching drug deals happen.
Oh, man.
You can't see exactly what they're trading, but they are definitely doing something.
Nor do you want to be close enough to see what they're trading. But that's on the left when you're coming in.
When you're coming in.
On the right is the beginning of North City, which is crumbling before your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so naive to think this, but I feel like this should be simple to fix.
It seems like there should be people who just are concerned about that in our government.
Russell says
they
crap
just
hole.
don't.
That's putting it mildly. I have to put it mildly. I can't say the thing that I wanted to say because the FCC doesn't allow me to. there should be police officers. You should be able to see 2 police officers everywhere you go in this city for a period of time.
Yeah. This, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, the government should be stepping into these things. It's just, these are the leaders. I'm not saying the government is responsible for this.
Where do you want the government to step in?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
When law and order is not present.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is the responsibility of those people who are elected to be representatives and lead.
Well, you say you don't want the government to step in, but at the same time, this is a direct result of
the government,
poor governance.
Yeah.
You could point to what happened in Detroit. Detroit was it in the 50s. And government policies and other things allowed manufacturing to leave, take jobs with it. And next thing you know, poverty set in. Well, when poverty sets in, then people can't afford to maintain their homes. They can't pay their taxes. The government doesn't have as much money to do the things. And then Detroit crumbled. There was a point in Detroit where something like only 30% of their streetlights worked in the entire city.
I think I remember that stat, actually.
And you get over here to St. Louis, North City, and all of this other stuff, and it's crumbling, and it's because economic stagnation set in because of bad government policy.
What an opportunity for the state of Illinois. It's literally right there. It's right,
yeah,
right
it's
there.
Right through me.
It is there.
You're pointing it right through my chest.
Right, you got to go right through Ryan Wiggins. You have all of the same assets that the Missouri side of the river has. You've got access to the river, which matters. If I were the governor of Illinois, I would make East St. Louis. I would focus as much of my attention as I possibly could on saying to every business in downtown St. Louis, come to Illinois. Go across the river, come to Illinois. We will incentivize everything we can. We will build this up, and people will talk about St. Louis, and they will mean East St. Louis, which is kind of what happens now, but in a pejorative kind of way. Mm-hmm. When people come down the river and they look at the east side of the river and the west side of the river, they're going to say, I think I'd like to go to the east side of the river. I would focus all of my attention on Madison County and St. Clair County to make it a destination for companies who want the best tax breaks and the most opportunity and, housing that you could encourage people who want to come work here, to live near here, and flood it with the best people among us, which is our police officers. Make it safe, make it secure, and tell the people on the other side of the river, Missouri, Blue City, St. Louis, you don't want to get your act together? Look what's on the east side of the river. But we can't, because the only thing that is similar between Illinois and Missouri is St. Louis.
Yeah, Pritzker looks at St. Louis and goes, hey, that's the best part of that state. They're actually kind of doing what we're doing.
Let's do some of that on the whole state.
Hey, love your results. Love that's we always talk about the crime part too, and that is a huge, huge part of why people don't want to come to downtown St. Louis.
It's the first thing.
It's the main thing. But for a long, long time, blue cities, St. Louis, Chicago, they make it more expensive to do business there by adding more and more taxes and more regulations to what you do.
Well, that's why crime is such an issue. Crime is a result of desperation. These aren't, people don't, wake up in the morning and think, you know what I want to do? I want to go rob people so that I can live. Maybe some people do, but I feel like the vast majority of people would like to go to a job, earn an honest living, come home, have nice things for the family, feed their family. But crime sets in whenever there's economic stagnation. It's the natural result of what you're describing. Bad economic policy drives crime because poverty drives crime.
Imagine beautiful hotels right there on the east side of the river where you're looking at the St. Louis Arch with the city of St. Louis in the background. Big hotels and great restaurants. When St. Louis was looking to build the St. Louis Rams football stadium, what if we had something like that was on the Illinois side of the river because it was more advantageous to do business on the Illinois side of the river? Think of the commerce that could take place right there. And Illinois, all you got to do is offer something that downtown St. Louis isn't, which is safety and security. But we're not interested in that either.
You know who is offering those things that Illinois isn't and downtown St. Louis isn't? Is St. Charles. How are they doing? Yeah, they're doing pretty good. The further out west you go into the redder areas, the better the economy is, the safer it is, the more likely people are to go there to go eat during COVID, for instance. I mean, it couldn't be clearer the difference between the policies.
The Democrats in the state of Illinois would squash any Republican-led efforts to enrich that place solely for the purpose that it would look good for a party that wasn't theirs.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Because if you have alternatives and you have options, then now all of a sudden you have the worst possible thing, which is expectations. And if expectations enter the conversation, now you got to do something. It's not going to be enough to show up 2 months before the general election, 2 weeks before the general election with the ballot in hand and say, hey, we're the Democrats, want to make sure that you vote. Check here, 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 here. And the Republicans never show up, and then Republicans never offer an alternative because they think it's a lost cause. The Democrats show up and offend each and every one of them, that they show up without the actual candidate even coming to the door. Their surrogates come to the door with this kind of arrogant attitude like, we're entitled to your Democrat vote, make sure you fill this out. What do we have to lose? Republicans are so castrated in the state of Illinois. There is nothing that Republicans are able to do in the state right now. Do you know that Kevin Schmidt is an Illinois Republican state representative who beat LaToya Green in St. Clair County in East St. Louis? Kevin Schmidt is, I'm pretty sure, the only Republican to flip a seat anywhere
in the whole state.
In the whole state in 2022. Kevin Schmidt did not tell me to say any of this. But seriously, if you want to hold firmly on any shot of getting any sensibility back to this area, go support Kevin Schmidt with your feet, with your dollar, with your voice, with a social media share. Go follow him on social media, because this guy, he was a chiropractor. I think he still is. I don't think he hung that up. He's a chiropractor who represents an area that is super blue. Everybody knows how East St. Louis counts votes. I don't understand how they continue to do it this way, but the Republican is always winning until super late at night, and then the Democrat wins in the morning. Every time. People who are watching the 2020 election were like, well, how's that happen? I'm like, well, I don't know how it happens. I haven't seen it with my own eyes, but it's wild. I hear about people paying for votes in that area. If that's happening, it needs to be documented and exposed to somebody who will cover it and carry it. Kevin Schmidt won under the weirdest of circumstances and was the only Republican in the state of Illinois to flip a race red. Wrap your arms around this guy, because he is going into all of the communities. He doesn't see his district as a segmented demographic the way the Democrats require you to look at people, which is by which boxes do you check? And usually those boxes that you check are the ones that a Democrat will look at you and see and make a judgment on you before they even open their mouths to talk to you. It's not the way he runs his district and listens to his district. We should be suffocating Kevin Schmidt with our support right now. And I hope, if you haven't familiarized yourself with him, do so today. Because when it comes to no votes on this absolutely asinine, evil House Bill 4876, it says that if you don't provide your child gender-affirming care that they demand, that you will be guilty of child abuse and neglect. That's what these psychotic Democrats in Springfield, Illinois, want to do to your kids. During the show yesterday when we were talking about it, I told you, reach out to Katie Stewart. Reach out to Jay Hoffman. These are two Democrats in Southern Illinois in the House of Representatives. We reached out to Katie Stewart to have her on the show, and she very succinctly replied back, I'm not supporting the bill.
Thank you for your inquiry. And that was it. I responded, yeah, but we would like to have you on the show.
I want her to tell me why she doesn't support the bill.
Why.
Because I want to ask her, what about this bill do you not support? Did your Chicago Democrat majority leaders tell you should take a no vote on this one?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what's wrong with the bill. Tell me why you don't support it. Say it out loud. I think your constituents 100% deserve to know why. Well, because you serve them. Let's talk about it. Let's have a discussion. Jay Hoffman, same. Are you voting yes or no for this? And then, of course, reach out to the person who's sponsoring this bill, Congresswoman, or I shouldn't say Congresswoman, Representative Ann Stava Murray. Reach out to her, pressure her, but also find people like Kevin Schmidt and support them. Amy Ellick, support her. David Freese, both the baseball player just because he's so great, but also the state rep. Yeah,
big fan.
We got to get active because I imagine this is the key. If you hear me saying like, oh, Andy's really stumping for Illinois, what would St. Louis City have to do if Illinois got their act together?
More.
Something.
They'd have to do something. They'd have to respond. What would St. Louis City have to do if even a small portion of its voters just said, you know what, I think there's some problems here, and didn't just accept that the bar has to keep getting lower? Because that's what it is. Mm-hmm. You've just accepted that things are getting worse, and you go, we'll just stick with that.
There's so much opportunity right in front of us. And when I think about the things that we spend a lot of our time bickering over, that we can't, I'm as guilty, put this on me first. I'm as guilty as anyone else. Like the things that we're not going to affect and influence in a day's work here on the Annie Fry Show, and the things that we could, I guess shame on me. But I come downtown St. Louis every day, and every day I think, who would want to see this? Like, I know what my house looks like when my family's been living in it for like 3 or 4 days straight, maybe over Christmas vacation. I don't want you to come visit my house at that time. I'm going to need like a good 60 minutes heads up to even make it look like I would claim it as my family's mess. St. Louis looks like they've been on years of a bender that they are just past the point of even care or concern. This is just how we live. This is just what's acceptable. And anybody who goes to that house right now knows that this is just how it is.
Yeah.
And if you have a choice, you don't go back. That's the problem. The best thing that could happen to the city of St. Louis is that Illinois, East St. Louis, would get their act together and put some pressure on the city of St. Louis, and then all ships rise. But I guess that won't happen. We're kind of in a death spiral of zero cares given.
We're in a spiral of westward movement is what's happening.
Yeah.
And it's just going to keep going, unfortunately.
Annie, are you okay when we come back with Trisha?
Yay.
Exciting. Let's take a quick break. Vote in the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Did you have cell service disturbed today? Yes or no? We want to know what you say. We'll be right back.
Shine down, light it up, wash it over.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Fry Show.
Come along, I'll be waiting for you.
RulerFoods.com. If you're shopping for your groceries coming up this weekend, just go by Ruler Foods and take it in as an experience. You know, if you can just go get dinner for one night and just be like, okay, let's have a Ruler Foods dinner and see what they have. Boy, will you be surprised and excited about the next time you get the grocery shopping list together, and then you get to go do the whole gambit at Ruler Foods. They are very clean stores, very well organized, easy to shop. The layout of the stores makes a ton of sense, and the savings adds up so rapidly. Right now, you can save on Kroger russet potatoes, 10-pound bag, $2.99. Or Kroger pork loin chops, 5-count, or home-style beef patties, 4-count, $5. And Heritage Farm chicken leg quarters sold in a 10-pound bag, 49 cents a pound. This is a great way to save on feeding a family of 6, like I have to do on a regular basis, or if it's just yourself or you and your significant other. Why not take the opportunity to save on one of the most repetitive costs and expenditures that you have? Start at Ruler Foods. Stretch your grocery dollars as far as you can by shopping there. You can find your Ruler Foods at rulerfoods.com.
You can admit it, you're obsessed with the news, but you don't want to be that person watching TV waiting for the next news story to break. So use your ears instead with the free Odyssey app. With this station available on the free Odyssey app, you can get your local news and discover news stations from around the country. And with hundreds of podcasts also available, you can go deep into the topics you care about. Download the free Odyssey app wherever you get your apps to get the news you crave. Your news fix, your Odyssey.
When you have Rhino Shield on your house, it does a couple of things for you. It beautifies the house and it protects it from the harshest elements. And boy, do we see those here in the greater St. Louis area. You get instant curb appeal. It will stick to anything. Rhino Shield is the answer, no matter whether you're painting a home or a church or a business or a condo, because it's 100% waterproof. It takes care of the outdoor maintenance on whatever is on the outside of your home. The brick, the block, aluminum, steel, stucco. They can put this on with the 2 to 3 coat process. They're there about a week, and they do a great job. A lot of businesses have done it in the area. Several Firestones have done that. Vantage Credit Union over the years, Harlan Packaging down in DeSoto. Call Darren today and schedule your free estimate. 877-25-RHINO, easy to remember phone number, or go online today at 877-25-RHINO.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. If your furnace isn't working, get in your comfort zone with 55 years of award-winning HVAC service from Air Comfort Service. Mention the Annie Fry Show to save $55 off any surface repair at aircomfortservice.com.
You're mobile. We're with you on the radio or on the Odyssey app. Download it and take 97.1 with you, even outside the listening area.
Your home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk.
Right now, we're giving away James Taylor tickets. 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. Be the 11th caller, and you'll get a pair of tickets to see James Taylor at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater on June 6th. One more time, the phone number, 314-241-9797. Good luck.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Song of the South, sweet potato pie and a shut my mouth. Gone, gone with the wind. There ain't nobody looking back again. Cotton on the roadside, cotton in the ditch. We all picked the cotton, but we never got rich. Daddy was a veteran, a Southern Democrat. They ought to get a rich man to vote like that. Sing it. Song of the South, sweet potato pie and I shut my mouth.
Do you like this song?
This is the only country I do like.
I
Sweet
hate
potato
this song.
pie and baseball stuff.
This is a
I
different
like
song.
guitars and a truck in my mouth.
I don't.
You know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
No.
I have no idea what you mean. This is completely
You hate
lost on
this
me.
song?
I hate this song.
Oh, man, I think it's great.
And I'm like huge 90s country fan, early 2000s, maybe a little bit late 80s. This song makes me mad.
Really?
Jared loves this song.
Oh, man.
It's great.
Shooting, skeet, and drinking a thing.
Shooting
It's like
skeet
they're
or
here.
shooting ski?
Shooting skeet. And drinking a thing, which might be a skeet.
Yeah. I think the line that makes me the most mad is sweet potato pie and I shut my mouth. I don't want to think about it.
You don't want to think about somebody eating the sweet potato pie?
No.
It's like the chewing thing
Watching
for you.
TV, shoving stuff in my face. that's kind of country. Sitting in a recliner that's 40 years old.
They're the most comfortable.
Not okay. Not okay. Yeah, okay.
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay With This?
Hunter says you don't like sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes.
What about
Love it.
yams?
Yes.
You just don't like people eating
Yeah, I don't want
right?
people. I
You
just
don't want
prefer not.
people-
I don't. I prefer people not to eat.
Yeah.
In my presence.
Right. That's fair. That's fine.
Unless
Eating lots of meat, that's still on the bone.
all right.
Spiders dropping out of the sky on face.
Sorry. So you list all the things that are gonna make me uncomfortable.
Ryan, I need you to make that song as most uncomfortable for Annie as you possibly can. Just rewrite the whole
You
thing.
should rewrite it, record it.
I
and
don't
then-
even know that
then
song.
play it.
I do not know that song.
I'm gonna be really, really uncomfortable in October when he actually finishes it.
Yeah. Give me a couple, 3-5 months.
Of 2025.
Yeah.
Halloween special. He'll come out and be like, I wanted to save it.
I got that song done.
No, that's not true.
What's
Brad
the
told
song?
you 2 days ago, where's that song? And then you remembered.
Can I share something real quick?
Share whatever you want.
About probably close to a year ago.
How could I possibly know whether this is a yes or no? Can I share something real quick?
We jokingly said, "Oh, Ryan, you should make a woke country song."
Yeah.
And I did it. And then it's been just sitting there, and it's just done. And I think I brought it up once, and it's just sitting there.
Yeah. This is what we were talking about.
Yeah. It's done, though, for whenever you're ready.
I wanted the amount of time to pass that we asked you to do that, and you created it to pass before we played it.
I don't quite follow.
Oh, man. All right. Man stabbed in the butt in dispute over leg press machine.
Oh, I thought it was over work deadline.
No, but that is a good reason to stab somebody.
Let
in
me
the
write
butt.
that down real quick.
A
Okay.
69-year-old gym goer did not appreciate it when someone inquired about the leg press machine he was using. The argument then moved to the locker room for some reason.
Roid
where
rage.
He got very angry, yelled, and proceeded to stab the other man in the butt with a knife.
Mm-hmm.
The victim told police the man also chased him through the gym, waving the knife in the air. He had to go to the hospital where he required 500 milliliters of blood and 4 staples to close the stab
I
wound.
can't wait to hear what the question is.
Are you okay with people hogging machines at the gym?
I don't go to the gym like that, so I don't care.
No.
Really?
Brad,
I'm with you, Brad.
Hate it.
Like
kids,
poor gym etiquette
The
is
teenagers that show up in a group of like 12 and they all stand around the bench press while nobody's lifting any weights, but they're just
people
taking
are the
it up.
worst. Like Ryan Wiggins, just always hogging the leg press
Well,
machine.
since you can't identify with that, are you okay with stabbing people in the butt when they make you mad?
It really depends on the circumstances.
I hate that. I hate when people stab each other in the butt because it just ruins a butt.
What's worse, stabbing in the butt or
there's a-
stabbing in the back?
Butt.
I think the back would
Because then
be
after
worse.
you pull the knife out, you're like, oh no, you ruined it. There's
And
a
their butts
crack
all
in
lumpy
it.
and-
Oh, wow.
Woman becomes first person to marry AI-generated hologram.
Good for her.
Right. A Spanish artist
I don't
is
think it was
making-
looking too up before that part.
A Spanish artist is making history as she's set to become the first person to marry a hologram generated by artificial intelligence. She said she will use the marriage to explore the complexities of relationships. She's also quoted saying, "We know that soon robots and humans will be sexual partners."
Excuse me?
But for me,
I
the
don't know
next
about
important
we
step.
know part of
I
that
mean, it's
stuff.
just a fact.
But for me, the next important step is emotionally involving
some.
AI with humans. Annie, are you okay with marrying holograms?
There's always like these stories that come up, and it's like woman marries cat.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't believe that you can actually do that. Can you legally marry non-humans?
I wasn't sure because it said Spanish artist if the laws were different.
It's like maybe in
I
Spain.
feel like maybe in Spain you can marry computers. I don't know.
I don't know. These stories are always so...
You will, we know soon that we'll be having
sad.
sex with them, though.
Well, yeah, let me look up Spanish law real quick.
Yeah.
Again, the we is a very broad statement that I don't necessarily agree with. I would say stick to humans. And if you can't find one, just call it a day.
Sex with a hologram seems like it would be boring.
Careful. I don't want to go down that road with you.
He said bold.
Man takes on the challenge of eating raw chicken every day. Of course, this story is out of Florida where
A challenge.
Eating. He created it. Of course, the story is out of Florida where a man is going viral on social media for starting a raw chicken challenge where he eats raw chicken every day just to see what happens to him.
Just to see.
Just to see.
Yeah, death.
The stunt is working. He's amassed more than 400,000 Instagram followers. He vows to do this until he, quote, gets a tummy ache.
Oh, my gosh. I'm going to get a tummy ache.
Annie, are you okay with eating raw meat?
No. Ever.
How
What?
long has he been doing it?
What raw
I
meat
don't know
would
how
be?
long he's been doing it long enough to get 400,000 Instagram
What raw?
followers.
What?
That's one day.
What raw meat?
I guess beef, fish.
Yeah, it's just, what is it? Steak
No.
tartars
No.
raw?
Yeah, steak tartars raw.
No.
Salmon sometimes eaten raw.
No.
Tuna.
Tuna.
Yeah, sashimi tuna.
Yeah.
Are you okay? I wish that I'd have given you an oatmeal cream pie about 30 minutes ago in the show to...
That'd be okay. You can still do it when the show's over.
Are you 7?
I would eat it.
You're like a 7-year-old on their half birthday.
I have all kinds of questions for what that means,
No, you
but
know.
I kind of get it.
You
I don't
know.
really need you to explain. I kind of understand.
It's not important
And
to
I agree.
anybody, but it's really important to you.
You're not wrong. I think every
What
day
is up with you?
my half birthday.
You're not okay.
Give me an oatmeal cream pie and I'll shut up.
A what?
Oatmeal cream pie.
An oatmeal cream pie. Got it.
Sounds like he has socks in his mouth.
Your turn.
West Virginia town mourning the loss of a Hooters with a candlelight vigil.
Ooh, yeah.
A Hooters in Charleston, West Virginia, was the victim of the pandemic, not a pandemic.
There's a different one.
Yeah, just its own pandemic.
The West Virginian pandemic.
Nearly 4 years ago, but many hoped that the location would eventually reopen. Unfortunately, the building is set to be demolished next week. To mourn the loss, the community is coming together with a candlelight vigil. A post from one of the organizers says, "Let's all gather in remembrance of the amazing power that was brought to us all by Hooters." As of this morning, more than 100 people said they were going to this event.
Like Castle Grayskull.
With more than 400 people interested. Annie, are you okay with Hooters?
The one time I've been to Hooters was when one of my dearest friends was going to boot camp. This is in 2003, I believe. Signed up for the Army after 9/11. We did the Saddam Hussein countdown and everything, and he was going to boot camp the next day. So my best friend and Aaron, the guy who was going to boot camp the next day, the three of us were going to go out to send him off. And we had gone to grade school together and everything, and we were in college at that time. And my other friend was like, "We got to go to Hooters." And I was like, "Do we?" And they're like, "We're going to Hooters." And I was like, well, since he's going to war, I will, for my country, go to Hooters. And then I was having a conversation.
Nothing if not patriotic.
When I was having a conversation with that guy, with Aaron, the guy who went to serve in the Army, like within the last 6 months, and that story came up. He's like, "I hate Hooters." And I'm like, "We went to Hooters."
He made you go just to make
just
you
for
go?
Tim? Okay.
Did the waitresses call you cutie?
I don't
Sweetie,
recall.
Here you go, sweetie.
Love.
I remember not being bothered by it. It is what it is.
They have pretty good chicken.
You know,
Mostly cooked.
Regarding that Hooters and it going out of business, IHOP. Do you have IHOPs around you that have gone out of business?
I can't think of any that aren't out of business around me.
The one by me, the closest one to me, is still open, and I
It
don't know
is?
how. Yeah.
I think the one on the east end of Belleville is still open too.
I didn't know if it was regional or if it, sometimes they say they'll say IHOP is closing X amount of stores and then they just figure it out. But the one nearest me has been closed and it is the saddest thing to me. So I kind of feel the pain of the people who are mourning Hooters, but my Hooters is IHOP. So.
I got a Steak and Shake by me like that. I feel like all the Steak and Shakes went down.
Man,
Yeah.
The community is mourning the loss of power.
What were you doing at Hooters? Maybe I don't understand Hooters. Maybe I didn't get the full experience that one time that I went in 2003.
That one had a back room where there was some deals being made.
Amazing.
I was
power.
not invited to that room. Nor would I have gone.
All right, one more. Couple wearing matching Cookie Monster pajamas attempt to rob a Lowe's.
Discreet.
Also from Florida, a couple has been locked up after police say they were caught on camera in an attempted armed robbery at a Lowe's hardware store while
They just
wearing
set some cookies out for him to catch him.
matching Cookie Monster pajamas.
They were stealing 2x4s going, ow, 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 ow.
Crumbs everywhere, just a trail
Yeah.
out the door.
There's a light fixture. Ow, ow, ow.
The store's loss prevention team observed the pair trying to walk out with the unpaid merchandise. When confronted, the man revealed a gun in his waistband. That's always a no-no. They actually left the store.
The
but
Cookie Monster?
Yeah.
In his waistband?
Mm-hmm.
I guess they weren't onesies?
No, they were like a pajama set,
Oh, it's even worse.
Oh, they just had pictures of him on it?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Now he's disappointed in them.
Annie, you are not okay with this now.
I don't know what the question is yet. Let's wait and see.
Okay, well, the couple got arrested. They left. They got arrested the next day. Annie, are you okay with matching family pajamas?
It is a freaking racket. It's like a Christmas thing. Hold on a second. No? Okay. I had to run something by her. When you become a family and everybody's doing it, you're like, I guess we have to do it too. And then you go realize it's like $15 at minimum a set. And then you're like me and you got 6 people in your family and you're like, I don't really care that much. I think we've caved on it one time and it was maybe some stuff that was on clearance, but sure, it's cute. Are you just doing it for pictures for Facebook and for social media to look like you got it together? I haven't considered Life of Crime
Rob
in my...
Or Rob Lowe. We talked to him about it.
He's not okay, guys. He's not all right. I'm not opposed to it, but it's like one of those things that you get pressured into as a family, and then you ask yourself, why am I doing this? And then you're like taking pictures in your pajamas. You're like, this doesn't make me look good. These are pajamas.
Like, I feel ridiculous.
Whenever I see a full family in matching pajamas, I am so jealous.
Of what? What's the implication?
Of the matching pajamas.
Just the clothes.
Yeah. It's so neat. Gosh, I mean, I look at that and I'm like, what the heck is my life about? That is where it's at.
You have to have a certain level of organization to have your family in matching pajamas, and you also have to have a very compliant husband. If I go to my husband and, like, if I were even to ask him, hey, can we get matching pajamas? He'd be like, why? So if you see, maybe I don't want to speak for all the husbands out there, but that is a concession, I think, on the majority of men's parts to say, yes, honey, I love you. I will wear these pajamas. I doubt that it usually originates from the man of the house coming in and going, hey, guys, you got a great idea.
Oh, I mention it pretty much every week.
I would like to meet that guy who it is the guy.
Every week. Hey, Christmas is coming up in about 8 months.
And Mrs. Wiggins will comply?
No, she will not do it.
Why?
She thinks it's beneath her.
Integrity.
Mm-hmm. And so I have tried actively to adopt myself into one of those families.
Is it beneath her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
We appreciate it. Thank you, Trisha. Will you take him with you?
I guess.
He's
oatmeal cream pie.
Do I have to?
He's so giggly. He can't. There are certain
It's been
times.
a while since you've been in.
Yeah,
So.
he's
I know,
just
it's nice.
so happy to have you here. Of course, we all are. Every once in a while, Ryan cracks himself so much that he can't recover, and we're about there.
Yeah, it's Thursday.
You got 15 minutes left in you?
No, yeah, we'll see.
All right, stick around. We'll see what happens next. Go vote in the YouTube live chat poll.
Song of the South. Song of the South.
All right. Moving on. Air Comfort Service, online at aircomfortservice.com. I wonder if Corey Malone likes that song. We'll have to ask him. He is my go-to for any HVAC needs that I have. I also want to make sure that you understand the benefit that you will have if you are a business and you've got an HVAC concern. Make sure that you reach out to Air Comfort Service before you make a final decision on what you're going to do with your HVAC need. 314-513-0091. Call Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation and get a free second opinion on heat exchanger or compressor repair. Also, Air Comfort Service has provided residential and commercial heating and cooling services for 55 years. They know what they're doing. They are great at it. They are kind. They are compassionate about the situation. It's not like anybody really loves it when you have HVAC problems, but you have HVAC solutions with Air Comfort Service. Make sure that they are in your phone for a time when you need them. And I also stress this very much when you have loved ones that you need to check on when it gets really hot or really cold. If there is any kind of issue, you want to make sure that that issue is going to be attended to quickly and correctly. That's Air Comfort Service. Write this number down, put it in your phone, save it for a rainy day, so to speak. 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-478-6688. That's 1-800-478-6688. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-478-6688. That's 1-800-478-6688.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar. And maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
If you need someone you can trust for your eye care, go see the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Kim St. Ange here. Doctors Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, Royer, and Barry are experts in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
The Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll of the day has to do with your cell service. Was it disturbed today? We'd like to know, yes or no. Simple poll. Let us know one way or the other. Type in Annie Fry on YouTube, and the YouTube live chat poll will come up. Let us know. 248. We'll give you the results of that poll in just a second. That's This Time Check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. Does your phone work this afternoon? Nationwide cell phone outages. It's been a mess. What happened? We're going to talk about it right after 3.
It's getting near dawn.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
I'll soon be with you, my love. Give you my dawn surprise.
I just played this song with my son and my nephew on Guitar Hero the other day.
Really?
Did you ever Guitar Hero?
I was around it a lot. I don't think I played it much. It was very popular in the, mid-2000s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, yeah. I had the bass guitar controller. It was awesome.
Man, I remember the song I loved hearing was Possum Kingdom by Toadies on there. Ah, that was so cool.
Do I know that song?
Yeah, you know it.
Okay.
They never say Possum Kingdom in the song, but you know the song.
The New York Post. I'm just thinking about how my mom used to look at pictures with my kids when they were littler. I don't know why, but they would go on Google Images and just look at pictures of possums.
They'd like do street view and drive down streets until they saw possums? No, okay. I just grabbed what you're saying. They were searching for possums.
They would just Google possum and look at an image search instead of...
And that's completely fine. What I said's weird, though.
Although, yeah, there are possums all over Google Earth. You should try it until you find 10.
I saw one last night. That's why I thought of it.
Where does that come from?
Well, I saw one run past me last night at my house. Went out to my car to get some groceries, and then a possum ran by.
Possums, the more you look at them, the more that you kind of soften up to them. Like, all of a sudden, they start in your mind to develop these personalities, and then you're like, maybe they're just misunderstood.
You say these things, and then, like, right before you said that, you were judging me. You realize this, right? But no, I'm the weird one.
No, it's my mom.
So anyway.
New York Post has a story. Prankster suspended from $20,000 a year school after he drenched boaters with milk in viral stunt. Quote, "I'm just a kid. You ruined my life." It's a wild headline. What goes around comes around, and this kid found out quickly. A young prankster was suspended from his $20,000 a year school amid a weeks-long investigation after he drenched a group of women with milk during their boat ride on January 27th. A 16-year-old unnamed Australian boy was handed a combination of suspension and other punitive action, reparation, apologies, and counseling. What's that counseling look like?
No kidding.
In the
counseling part of these stories.
In the wake of the viral stunt, which has been viewed more than 32.6 million times, there's this little video of him on a bridge and these two women on this little boat, and the little caption on the video is got the little devil face, the purple devil emoji, and it just says milked.
Those women should be thanking that kid.
Quote from the Melbourne Grammar School said, "We continue to have the firm view that this behavior was completely unacceptable and have treated the matter with the utmost seriousness." The boy uploaded footage of the vile act under his Instagram account as he showed himself dumping milk on top of the four women while they were on a go-boat ride on the Yarra River. One of the prankster's alleged victims, who posted a video just moments after they were struck, said the group was celebrating a friend's birthday. You book a go-boat for your friend's birthday, and some kid on the bridge above pours a whole bottle of milk on us.
I guarantee you one thing. If I'm on a boat and somebody starts spraying me with milk, I am just acting like I'm showering. I'm closing my eyes. I'm kind of whipping my head back and forth in slow motion.
Yeah, you love milk.
I love milk.
You feel
Open
like,
my
hey,
mouth.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
That's what I needed.
Wringing my shirt out into my mouth.
Gross. Does society have a place for pranksters like this? I mean, you could always look at a prank and go, all right, the guy was willing to do what he did, and it happened, and it's a story, and it makes you chuckle, but it's still wrong.
I'm going to say yes. The problem is that if you're going to be a prankster, the only reason people do it now is to film it and get likes. Don't do that. Don't do that part of it. Be a prankster for the fun of being a prankster. And yes, some of those cross the line for sure, but that's the point, they've always crossed the line. You don't have to make a spectacle of it. Do it because it's funny.
Does it matter that he's a kid and he did this? Should he be treated differently?
Yeah, he should.
Quote, this is what the kid said. "Please stop contacting my school. My school has caught me and I'm facing expulsion. Can't believe you would do this to a minor."
Well, if you're old enough to know you're a minor.
He added,
like a jerk.
He's like, guess what I can get away with.
Yeah.
He also said, "Why'd you do this to me? You ruined my life over a ruined day. You upped the ante. I'm just a kid and you ruined my life. Too far."
I kind of agree with him, actually.
I'm kind of starting to agree with you at school.
I'm just imagining Macaulay Culkin saying that as Kevin McAllister.
Yeah, the robbers sue him.
Upon the school doing their private investigation on the matter, Victoria Police also stepped in to issue the boy a warning for unlawful assault.
Oh, come on. Although the kid does seem like kind of a tool bag.
Victoria Police spokesman said, quote, "The matter is now complete." It is finished.
It is finished. It is done.
So it shall
and
be.
they said it in Latin.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
Did you ever do any pranks?
Yeah, I did a couple.
What was the best one?
One time in college, I had a friend who was a student teacher. And in his class, I posed as one of the kids in the class and then ordered pizza in the class. And then when they brought the pizza, he yelled at me. We had it all planned out. And then I threw a desk down and I walked out and I started yelling at the other guy who brought the pizza. It was all a setup. It was just for fun.
See, this is the type of crap we did before cameras were everywhere.
Yeah, there wasn't any cameras.
Nobody knew.
No.
All of that work for nothing.
Exactly.
Just your own personal amusement.
Yes. Yes, it was.
Our YouTube live chat poll for today on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Make sure you go subscribe there and catch us each and every day. You can turn on notifications, and then when we go live, you'll be notified. You can watch it if you want to that day. You can just swipe it away if you don't. Subscribe and get those notifications. We wanted to know, was your cell service disturbed today? Ryan, was yours?
No.
Brad?
Mine was not.
Mine was not either. Leah's wasn't. Trisha said hers was. 64% of you said no. 36% of 264 votes said yes. So
Still
a third
a lot
of
of
you.
people,
That
though.
is a lot. It was very disruptive, for sure. Thanks for being with us today. Mark Reardon Show coming up next.
And roll, turn up the band, find the hole, gonna lose control tonight. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of the IC. Terms and conditions apply.
The needs of modern businesses are always changing, but corporate cards haven't evolved in decades. Until now. Meet Ramp, the all-in-one finance platform that combines corporate cards with spend management software. Ramp is the only card designed to actually help your business spend less, not more. With Ramp, you can set custom controls to stop out-of-policy spend before it even happens. And Ramp software even does expense reports for you. No more manual entries, no more chasing receipts. And with best-in-class accounting integrations, you'll close your books in days, not weeks. Ramp gives you better insights and a real-time view of all company spend, so you can stay focused on the big picture and build a healthier business. Join over 15,000 businesses who have switched to Ramp and start saving an average of 5%. Modern finance runs on Ramp. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. That's ramp.com/free.
Mortgage rates have finally dropped. That's right. Golden Oak has 5.375% fixed rates available right now. Our average cash out customer saves over $1,000 a month. Call today and take advantage of our 5.375 fixed rate. Call 314-567-GOLD. That's 314-567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
5.934 APR. FHA 15-year 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter